Welcome back to the Game Bet Match podcast. I'm your host, Manny Friedman, along with my co-host,
Brad Sloan.
back in the house, baby. It's a Tuesday night here in New Jersey, which means it's the Beijing final time, and it's time for another 10-day Masters 1000 in Shanghai.
Yeah, man, it's so sad though. Like these 10-day Masters, you just see like sad qualifying. The first round is so sad.
Yeah, first round is sad, but that being said, professional tennis is being played, so that means we're gonna have some picks.
Yeah, we'll have a lot of picks.
That doesn't
Many
change,
picks.
right? No matter how bad the format may be, we always have some picks, right?
That is true. That is true.
So yeah. So we're gonna, since Shanghai's coming up so soon, we're going to do our first half of the pod where we're gonna talk about the matches, the first round matches coming up on Wednesday night or in Wednesday.
Like early, the first few matches are coming up early Wednesday. Then we'll go back and talk through the rest of the pod kind of in our normal order.
Okay, sounds good. And then we'll like pause the pod, do our poster picks on X, and then back to the show. Okay, so that's how we're gonna do this pod. It's a little bit different. So let's share my screen here. All right. So the first match here, I don't know if you've looked at these lines, Brad. I've taken a quick peek at them. But haven't like really dived full in, so it'll be good to kind of talk these out. The first one is Nakashima against Zapata Miralles, coming up in about an hour from now. Nakashima is a 4-game favorite, minus 310 on the money line. Zapata is plus 250, and the over-under is 22. On first glance, I was like, you got to hammer Zapata in some way, shape, or form here, just because like Nakashima is like a pure fade guy. But at the same time, like based on previous years, these courts kind of play kind of quick, right? I don't know. Did you listen to Sean Calver's and Nigel?
A little bit. I watched I listened to a little bit. Yeah, I mean, I would expect they'll play quick.
Did they talk about the conditions?
I mean, the first I heard the first round of qualies, like the stats looked slower, but I mean, that's one round of qualies. It's a sad quali field. It's tough because like we don't know because we haven't seen this in 4 years. This tournament, it used to play fast. It used to definitely play fast. Like it's one of the faster tournaments on the tour.
Yeah,
you're not going to get much altitude. It's more because of the surface and it's indoors.
What kind of hard court do they play this on?
Deco turf. At least they used to play on Deco turf. UTS Ultimate Tennis Stats does a court speed rating.
Okay.
They had it playing. They had it on a scale of 0 to 100. They had it playing in like at 99 and 17, and then in the mid 80s and 18 and 19, which is pretty fast. Like that's definitely on the faster end. According to Tennis Abstracts in the 2019 stats, it was in the top 10 fastest tournaments on the tour. Like, I think we can say that it's fast with pretty good, unless it's completely changed. I would guess that it's going to be fast.
I guess it won't. Yeah, so if it's a Deco turfs tend to be quite quick, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, all right. So it's gonna be like a fast hard court. No altitude here. So yeah, I mean, but on first glance here, like in this matchup with Nakashima and Bernabe, like don't you think like Bernabe plus the 250 is like a decent price? I don't know if it's good enough for you to hit, like. But Nakashima has been so bad. It's just like, I feel like he's a pure fade.
Nakashima's covered 4 games one time this entire season. He beat Altmaier 6-1 in the third set in Acapulco.
Wow. Okay.
So I've gone Zapata plus the 4. I think like his offensive game is like kind of okay-ish. I don't know. It's not good on hard court, right? He's a clay guy, but his offensive game is like, I don't know. I don't think it's that disastrous. Like his serve is like, it's not great, but
Now,
it's not like
has
Diego Schwartzman.
Nakashima this year who are the guys he's played kind of on Zapata's caliber on hard court
Um,
that he hasn't covered 4 games?
I mean Kubler. I mean Kubler's probably
Okay.
significantly better, right?
Kubler's a little better, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he lost to Vukic in 3 tiebreaks on grass.
I mean, you view Vukic way worse.
Yeah,
than
you're right. I really hate on
I
Vukic
think
quite a
Vukic
bit.
on a fast hard court is significantly better than Zapata Morales.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, he's played pretty good competition. Like that's part of why he struggled so much. But I don't know, man.
Because like on first glance, when I was looking at these lines, I like the 3-set line at plus 160 better than the plus 4. I just think that price is so much better. And like Nakashima, the thing is he has a lot of dips. Like he could play decent tennis for a while, hold serve, but then like he's not a great athlete and he struggled this year. So like he might just fall off the radar for a little bit, allowing Zapata in. So I think the fact that we're getting plus 160 and not like plus 135, like I think that's a really good price.
I get it. I just think like, I don't know, man. Like, I think this is pick your favorite pro Zapata line. I mean, we talked about this before, right? Like 3-set lines always scare me.
I wouldn't have enough confidence to hit Zapata on the money line here just because of like the conditions and like the difference in.
Well, that's why I'm taking
like
the 4 because like the 4, I'm just hoping that like Nakashima can't break him twice in a set, and like Nakashima doesn't break anybody twice in a set.
That's true.
Again, like I think he's won. Looking at this, I mean, I guess okay. So I guess he's yeah. I don't know. Like, yeah. I mean, I'll go back to he's covered 4 games 1 time this year, and it took him 3 sets to do it.
I think I'm gonna
like 1 time out of 45 matches has he covered 4 games.
Okay, that's fair. That's you've made your case. Yeah, I think we have to make plus 4 the play of the day. Like just based on those stats, it's just so alarming, right? Like
I just don't see like honestly like I think Nakashima should be a favorite here. Like I think he'll win the match, but man, Nakashima
to cover a 4-game spread against an ATP level player, I get it. Like I totally get it.
Like yeah.
But I do
like,
want
I mean, the funny thing is, right? Like we've tried to play Nakashima overs a little bit recently and gotten burned because Nakashima's been so bad. Exactly. And like that's actually my fear here. Like I don't hate any Zapata bet here. I just think like the man like.
But
the way
to be fair, anytime we
plays,
tried to play the Nakashima over, he's played someone better than Zapata, right? Like
I know that's the thing, but it's like man, but does it matter? Like if you're just missing balls, like does it matter?
The plus 4 is a good play. I mean, yeah, just laying those stats where he's only covered once in the entire season, like I think you have to play it. But I do want to sprinkle on the 3 sets here, but just because of it's plus 160.
I legitimately don't hate any pro. Like I don't even hate the money line bet if you want to play that. It's just I just like the plus 4 is my favorite.
Okay, all right, we'll make the plus 4 play of the day.
All right.
And then we'll make the 3 sets. I'm just gonna sprinkle on that.
I don't think it's a terrible idea.
All right. Next is Daniel Altmaier against Yoshihito Nishioka. Yoshi is a 3-game favorite, minus 180 on the money line. Altmaier is plus 150. The over-under is 22.5. So I really like Yoshi minus 3 here.
Yeah, I do too. My takeaways, we're on the same page here. My takeaways, I know it's quick and that's going to bring the number of games down. But for Yoshi, I don't think it matters as much because he's like a more break-oriented player anyways.
Mm-hmm.
I also think that I think it benefits Yoshi that he went out early and that he went out to Sinner in Beijing.
I agree.
Because I think if he had played 2 long weeks in a row, that'd be actually worse for him here.
I agree.
So yeah.
Also,
Altmaier's just not a guy that I love on fast hardcourt. Like,
I agree. I mean, he lost in first round of qualifying to Lloyd Harris 3-1.
Yeah, and granted, Beijing's not as fast as Shanghai, but still, like, I get your point. But it's also scary because it makes you question, like, this is like the end of the season, right? And like this is the end of the road, and it's like you're done with all the slams. Like, there's not a lot left for like some of these guys, right? And like you question a guy like Altmaier, like how pumped up is he for this part of the season?
Well, I mean, Altmaier is a professional, right? Like I think he's gonna try hard. I just think hasn't shown the form, especially on fast hard. And like I think Yoshi is extra motivated, right? Like,
right. I guess that's my point. That's kind of where I was gonna go. I agree with you. Altmaier's a professional. I think he'll show up, but Yoshi, this is like Yoshi's part of the season, right? Like he's in Asia. It's like near his home. Like
exactly.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I like this spot for Yoshi, and
plus it feels like, I don't know, it feels like Yoshi, like basically his season is like July to January because he can't do much on clay. Grass, his lack of serve really hurts him, so he's really got to capitalize.
Maybe July through March, like maybe he can generate a few wins like Indian Wells in Miami and like maybe Rotterdam or something, right? Like.
But then a lot of those courts are slower, right? Like he doesn't do as well on like the slower, bouncier surfaces.
It's true.
Because he doesn't have enough power. Like, so it really is, I think, like July through January is like his time to get points.
Okay. That's fair.
So yeah, I'll lay the 3 here with Yoshi.
We're here? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm generally scared of laying games, but here I'll do it.
Okay. I mean, that was the first line that caught my eye.
Okay.
The straight sets also didn't also kind of caught my eye to a plus 130, but like, I don't know. Like Yoshi can dip, right?
Well, I think the 3, like, yeah, I just think like with Yoshi specifically, he doesn't necessarily have to straight 7 to at least get a push on the 3.
Right.
Like Yoshi could break enough to get to cover the 3, like what you love to call the backdoor cover.
Yeah,
like Yoshi's got a style. Like Nakashima's not backdoor covering. Yoshi could backdoor cover.
Right. That's true. All right. Next match is Dusan Lajovic against. Is that a play of the day candidate?
Yeah, sure. I like it.
All right. Next match is Dusan Lajovic against Stan Wawrinka. Lajovic is a 3.5 game dog, plus 200 on the money line. Wawrinka is minus 250, and the over-under is 22.5. So, I have a feeling we're going to disagree here. Well, it's not that we're going to disagree. I just have a feeling you have no play here. Is that right?
Yeah, that's the right answer. Yeah.
I know you pretty well. For me, like I take pride in trying to find the best line in each match.
Yep.
And for me, the best line here is the over 22.5.
Yeah, I like it. I think and honestly, I'd probably be more on it, but I'm kind of scared. Like, I don't know.
I'm going to stay away too, just because I'm afraid of Lajovic on a quick court.
Yeah.
Right. But I don't know. Wawrinka also showed that he's so bad at, like, his return game is just awful. Like the fact that he couldn't break Giron
in 3 sets. Yeah. And he couldn't generate a break point, right? Neither guy generated a break point in that match, right? There was 3 sets,
right,
no break points.
Neither guy did.
Yeah.
I wish that was a prop.
I know. Sad. That'd be like a 1,000-to-1 prop if you got it.
I'm sure. Not a single break point in the match. Like,
yeah,
that's crazy. So, you know what? I'm gonna hit it because like I think Wawrinka is significantly better, but I don't trust his return game. And I don't know. I just think the over is the best line here for sure. I actually don't mind the over 9.5 in the first set. That actually seems very nice too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not betting it, but I don't hate those plays. I think, yeah.
You know what? I'll go 1 unit on the over 22.5. All right, next match is Miomir Kecmanovic against Bu Yonchikote. Kecmanovic is a 4.5 game favorite, minus 400 on the money line. Yonchikote is I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. It's plus 300. Over under is 21.5. Personally, I just hate betting Kecmanovic. I've stayed away from his matches since the US Open, and I haven't regretted it. So I'm gonna stick by that. He's one guy I just don't touch. I just like him.
Yeah, and I really should learn my lesson here. But I feel like with him, like it's kind of like Shapovalov, where like it's never a bad. It's like you never want to touch. Like I think the biggest mistake I've made here is like trying to trust Kecmanovic to cover spreads. Like I'm never taking Kecmanovic to cover here to 2-0.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just think that's a disaster waiting to happen. But
I disagree. I think Shapovalov, like, you can bet his matches just as a pure fade.
Yeah, I get it.
You can't really fade because like there's a chance he might show up.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, this is really tough. This should probably just be a pure stay away. I don't really think like
you seem like you want to hit a line.
I'm really tempted to take like I'm tempted to take the home player here, the guy who should be more motivated to do something.
Okay.
And like Buddha when a set is plus money, it's plus 105.
Ooh, that's not good enough. I feel like if you're gonna take a line here, you gotta just take Boo on the money line at plus 300 or something.
I do think it's Manager's gonna win. That's the problem. Like,
I think if you're gonna hit a line here, I would hit the Boo first set money line at plus 220.
Yeah, I think that's not a bad play. Yeah, I mean, I could never take Kecmanovic here.
No, laying 4.5 games Kecmanovic, forget it.
Yeah.
Forget it. That's like flushing your money down the toilet.
Yeah. I don't know, but I'm looking at like Boo's ranked in the top 200. Like he doesn't get into tournaments because he's 187 in the world. And that's not good enough to get into a lot of tournaments. But like,
you wanna have some fun and place do the set one money line?
I'm thinking about it. Like, you know what though? Honestly, this is a stay away. Like I'd be more into it if he was a qualifier. Well, you know what though? See, the thing is, he played the Shanghai Challenger a couple weeks ago. He played in Guangzhou Challenger. Like he's playing, but so yeah, I'm staying away. This is not a good match to bet. Like I'm just the more I talk about it, the more it's just like not a good idea. Like this is Kecmanovic. Like what are we doing?
I mean, he's losing to Alex Collignon. Well, that was in July. He lose to Rigel Tay.
I mean, yeah, Rigel Tay is also in this tournament.
Okay, I mean, third set breaker.
But look, he gave like Murray a match.
Who doesn't give Murray a match?
I mean, that's why I'm kind of joking. That's kind of why it's a funny joke, right? Like, I think this is more about Murray right now.
just stay away. I mean, this is there's
Yeah,
there's,
this is stay away.
this is the round of 128. There are plenty of matches to bet, including a Beijing final, by the way.
Yeah, which we need to talk about at some point.
Yeah. But yeah. All right. Next match is Rinderknecht and Marazan. So Rinderknecht is a 2-game favorite, minus 175 on the money line. Marazan is plus 145. Over under is 23. Nothing really caught my eye here. I don't like betting against Marazan just because like we saw his upside in beating Alcaraz earlier this year on a different surface, but like we know he has talent, right?
Yep.
That being said, like Rinderknecht is a deserved favorite. He probably should be more like 2.5 or 3 games on a fast court. That being said, I don't really want to lay games with him. And 23 is like not a neutral over under. It's quite high. Probably lean the under there, but like it's just not good enough to play it. So I'm gonna stay away here.
Yeah, I'm staying away. I think this line is pretty well set.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Marazan. Trying to look up what Marazan's done. I don't even know if Marazan's played that much hardcore recently. I don't think he has. I think he's gone back to clay.
Yeah.
No, he did. Well, no, he has. Okay, so Marazan played in Astana. He lost to Kachmazov 2-4. But Rinderknecht hasn't been. I mean, Rinderknecht is Rinderknecht, man. It's he's so limited. You know what I mean? Like he
could be good. I mean, he made what 3rd round of the US Open. Like he could be decent, but it's just he could also be just.
I think this line is pretty well set. I think Rinderknecht should be a favorite. I mean, you could quibble about like if it should be 10 cents more one way or the other, but there's enough stuff to play here.
Yeah. All right, next match today is Dave Sweeney against Taro Daniel. Taro Daniel's a 4-game favorite, minus 350 on the money line. Sweeney is plus 275. The over-under is 21. Honest to God, I just haven't seen enough of Dane Sweeney to play a line here.
So they played pretty recently, and I think it was 6-5 to Taro Daniel.
On a similar court.
I don't look up where they played. I want to say so. It was in qualifying in one of these Asian tournaments, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to look up where it was. Oh, my bad. No, it was in Toronto. It was in Toronto.
Okay.
Daniel beat him 6-5. I don't know, man. On a super quick court, Taro Daniel, I'm almost willing to lay like 4. I'm willing to almost take the 4 games on principle. And that's what I've done here. And Sweeney qualified in, which I think is probably an advantage, right? Having played on the courts. Like in super quick conditions with a qualifier, I'll take the 4 games.
The Sweeney, like I haven't seen any of Dane Sweeney. Does he have a big serve?
I don't think particularly, no. I mean, I think the set 1 money line could also be an interesting look. But
I mean, the fact that he beat Hong 2-1, like that's a good win, you know, like, and Hong is a pretty similar player than Daniel, just at a lower level.
Yeah, and the fact that he played Daniel tough in Toronto, I mean, yeah, I don't know, 4 games at even money, unjuiced 4 games in on a quick hard court, like I'll take it.
We might be right. I'm gonna tail you. I mean, it's not a play of the day, obviously, but yeah.
Oh, it's not a play of the day for me either. It's one of my lower confidence bets, but I'll take it.
Okay. All right. Next match is Munar against Rigalete Tay. Munar is a 4.5 game favorite. Minus 450 on the money line, plus 350 for Tay. Over under is 21. The first thing that popped to my mind is just taking Tay plus the 4.5. Like, should Munar be a 4.5 game favorite against anyone on a quick hard court?
No, but like, I don't know, man. I'm actually going bigger than you on this. I agree with you on this, but I'm going bigger.
Okay.
Munar, So Munar went to, and granted, probably his ranking was too low, but after the U.S. Open, after he failed to qualify, lost to Swasoi, whatever, however you say it, Enzo,
Yeah.
5-3 in the first round of the U.S. Open. He went and played 3 clay challengers in Europe, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's clearly where he wants to be. Like, he's only playing here because it's a mandatory event that he got into, so he has to come here. I mean, honestly, like, it's the truth. Like you qualify for this event, you have to show up.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
no.
Like if he wanted to be here, he'd show up for Beijing or Shanghai or one of the other tournaments. He could get into those tournaments. Like, or he could have gotten into Astana. That was a really weak field. Like, I don't think Munar has any interest in being here. I've split my unit and gone half either on the first set money line and half either on the match money line. It's a fast hard court. It's like Munar does not want to play on a fast hard court. Are you kidding me?
I know. Yeah. All right, I'll sprinkle on the first set money line, but I'm not watching this match like to its completions.
But honestly, man, like I think this could be like a sneaky great play. Like,
oh yeah. Right.
I'm trying to look. Like, I want to see like Munar. Like, does Munar have any other results where he's like played just like terrible players and shown zero interest and lost? Okay, so this year, or within the past 52 weeks, I mean, he got straight setted 3-2 and 2 by Versina on hard at the Australian Open.
Yeah, that's really bad.
Like, this guy Rigoletto, like he's at least he's at home.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, man. Like, he's not good. Like, I'm sure he's not good. He's ranked 494 in the world, but I don't know that he has to be.
Yeah, Enzo beat him at the US Open. Straight sets.
Versina beat him. You love Fees, but Fees beat him last year when Fees wasn't on anybody's radar. When he was ranked 300 outside the top 300, Fees beat him 3-3.
Miami and Indian Wells, like, I mean, I know they're slow hard courts, but still, like, he lost first round of both.
Yeah,
he just doesn't.
And, like, there he would be somewhat competitive, right? Like, this is the worst possible spot for him.
It's for Sina. I mean, yeah, he doesn't win hard court matches. Period.
Right, and now we're talking about fast. Like, on slow hard, he's got some sort of chance, right? You want to set off a Kovacevic and a set off of Yibing Wu on slower hard. On fast hard, he's got no chance. Indoors, like this is like the worst possible spot for Munar.
Yeah,
and I don't think he's motivated. Like, if you're motivated for this tournament, you show up to like another Asian tournament, right?
Right. That's true. I mean, this guy played Sekulic, who's been pretty good in the qualies recently, and like was tight 3-setter.
Yeah, I mean, he looks like he's like somewhat competitive against like this guy looks like he's better than his rank. Again, like I know nothing about this dude, but
he played Bu Yanchikode a couple times. I mean, one time went to a third set breaker.
Yeah, and he beat him.
So yeah, he beat him. That's true. The other time was 2-4.
Yeah.
But all right, I'm gonna just play the first set money line. Like I could see him, just Munar being like, where the hell am I? Like where's the red stuff,
Yeah. Where is Europe also, right? Like why like
yeah. Why are there like hieroglyphics on the walls? Like
exactly.
Like I feel like he's gonna be like that, right? And then like after the first set, he's gonna be like, yeah, I'm the way better tennis player and just beat the guy, right? Like so
that's why I took the first set money line as I don't even want to say a hedge, but as a I split my unit. I agree with that take.
Okay. All right. Now the next match, Kokkinakis and Fognini, two absolute clowns.
I mean, how can you bet this? I don't even care what the line is here.
I don't care either. I was thinking of doing Kokkinakis 2-0, but then like Fognini is talented enough where he could take the racket out of anyone's hand, right? Like
it's not just that, but so I don't know, man. Like Kokonakis is going to break?
No. He's not. Well,
He
he'll break Fonini a couple times, but like the thing is, like Fonini, he could come out and play really good tennis.
when's the last time Fonini played though? But doesn't even matter. This honestly, this just seems like a pure stay away to me. It's like,
Yeah,
yeah.
I agree. I mean, if there was a line, I would lean Kokonakis 2-0 just because Kokonakis has played and Fonini hasn't. But like,
But Fonini's been playing European clay challengers like Munar.
all right, next match is kind of interesting. Corentin Moutet against Mackie McDonald. Moutet's a 4-game dog plus 250 on the money line. Mackey's minus 310. Over under is 21.5. I kind of like Mackey 2-0 at minus 120. That caught my eye. I actually don't mind Mackey over 12.5 at minus 110. But I'm probably going to stay away here. I just, again, Moutet's a clown, right? There's so many other
Well, he's been in more of his clowning mode than recently, right? Like his ranking has gone outside the top 100.
Right.
He lost to Kachmazov in straight sets in Astana. Like he's been in really bad clowning shape. That said, man, just based on these two guys, like on a quick hard court, I don't know that I can I don't know that I really want to lay games or
I don't want to lay
go 2-0 with Mackey. I mean, I think 2-0 Mackey is probably the best play, but like Moutet beat Arnaldi in Cincinnati. Like he's good enough to like show up and what?
That's the problem. Moutet has talent, right? Like, so he can beat some good players.
But what sucks here is like the market knows this because like this 4-game spread, like my initial thought is this 4-game spread is insane. Not insane, but like it's too big.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is like, how do I play this? Like, I don't trust like if Moutet falls behind, he might just clown him to set 6-1. So like 4 games sucks. Like I don't want to play that.
No.
Like I don't want to play Moutet to win a set. If he loses the first set, he might just clown away the second.
Right.
Like what I want to play here is Moutet money line. Like 250 is just not good enough.
Right.
So I have no play here because of that. Like maybe like I was thinking maybe the first set money line is kind of interesting at 190. Because at least like maybe he like won't clown away but like why wouldn't he clown away the first set? Like he can clown away any set. It doesn't matter.
Well, that's why I like the 12.5 because like I could see Moutet being competitive in the first set, get to 5-all, and then just like play some dumb points, smash rackets, and then the second set is 6-1.
I can see him do that at like 2-0 in the first set too, though. I can see him smashing back after the first point just to smash some rackets, like he's in a bad mood. Like
I think 2-0 Mackey is the best line at minus 120. Like that's the only one that I would consider playing here.
I 100% agree with you, and I'm not hitting it. But like I 100% agree with you. It's just like Moutet's just not. He's just not like it's. Ugh.
All right, I'm gonna sprinkle. But yeah. Next match is Yevseyev against Fucsovics. Minus 4.5 favorite for Fucsovics, minus 450 in the money line, plus 350 for Yevseyev. Over under is 21. I think this is stay away, right? For both of us.
Yeah, I mean, here's my takeaway. Here's my read on this match is that Yevseyev he's another qualifier. But in this case, unlike Munar, like I think Fucsovics is too professional, and Fucsovics is better on quicker courts. Yeah. But 4.5 is a huge spread on these fast courts. Especially for Fucsovics, who can throw away sets Fucsovics can throw away a set for no reason.
Well, so, I mean, I'll never forgive him for losing more games to Rinky Hijikata than Zapata lost to Novak Djokovic in the same round.
That is amazing. That is absolutely incredible. That he won less games.
One less games.
Was worse. Yeah, he did not cover the 10-game spread against Rinky.
Exactly. So I don't know. I just like after that, I'm like, when I see Fujovic, I'm like, stay away, because like he can lose to anyone 2-1-1, but I mean, obviously he should win this match, right? But like he can throw in duds like no one's business.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Right. So I'm staying away here. I can't. Next match this morning is James Duckworth against Yannick Hoffman. Hoffman is a 2.5 game favorite, minus 185 on the money line. Duckworth is plus 155. Over under is 22.5. I love Hoffman minus 2.5 here.
I don't love Hoffman on quicker courts. The movement's just not good.
But against Duckworth?
But but like if Duckworth is going to be good, this is either this or grass is probably the spot, you know?
I see what you're saying, but like how much are you weighing court surface? Like I'm weighing player quality here so a lot too, right? Like Hoffman
Duckworth's qualified in. There's enough here for me to buy. Like, I'm not betting Duckworth. There's enough here for me to say this line is close enough to stay away.
I was actually surprised not to see like 3.5 here. Who did Duckworth beat in qualifying?
I doubt anybody good, but
I mean, anyone with some pedigree, I would, weigh that.
he beat James McCabe and Nikolai Hilak. But he's got a recent win over Otmane at the U.S. Open qualies.
Were those matches close? Those two quali matches?
4-3 and 6-2 he won. I mean,
you know what? I'm gonna take the plus money and play Hoffman 2-0 at plus 135. I prefer that play.
I think that's a decent line. I mean, I'm not going to back it, but I think it's a decent line.
I like it better than laying some juice with the games.
Yeah, I just don't like Hoffman on quick court.
I
think Hoffman's one of the more. I think he's one of the more. Hoffman is one of the more. I think he's one of the more surface dependent players on the tour. Just he's like a little bit extreme. Like good serve, good forehand, decent ground strokes, but like movement's just so limited.
But you see, I'd agree with you if he was playing a guy like Taro Daniel, right?
Yeah,
like playing someone like Duckworth. That's where I view just pure player quality a little bit more, right?
Like, I see your logic. I just, it's not for me. It's not enough to make a play here.
Okay. All right. Next match is Kovacevic against Christian Garin. Kovacevic is a 1.5 game dog, plus 115 on the money line. Garin is minus 140. Over under is 23. So I saw Tennis Masters play here, and I actually agreed with his logic here. I think I'm going to play the Kovacevic money line at plus 115. I don't like what I've been seeing from Garin. Like every match, no matter who he's played, like even if it's a guy ranked out of the top 300, has been close with Garin. Like even in Davis Cup. Like I know he lost a set to Leo Borg in Davis Cup. I mean, he did take a set off Arnaldi, which, okay, he lost the match, but like he lost a set to Yi Zhao in Zhuhai. 7-5 against Ji Sui. Harris beat him 3 in love, right? So it's not good form from Garin.
And I don't think Garin's particularly good on quick courts. I agree with you. I've gone for Kovacevic money line.
Yeah.
It's not my favorite bet. Like, I think it's a really, really, really small value bet. I mean, Kovacevic he's like a tweener, right? Like, I feel like he's like, you know how there's like a quad A player in like baseball? Mm-hmm. I don't know if you've heard the term like quad A player, somebody who's like good enough to like be a really good player at AAA, but not good enough to play at the major leagues. Yeah. I feel like that's Kovacevic. Like, he can do well on the Challenger Tour, but he's just not like, he just doesn't have a complete enough game to be like successful on the ATP Tour.
I'd agree with
He's,
that.
he's a better version of like Stevie Johnson actually, but he's playing a lot better than Stevie is right now. But
Yeah.
it's like that same like where like and Stevie had a couple good years on the tour, but like right now like he's just not like he's not like Kovacevic is not complete enough to be an ATP player, but he does pretty good in the Challenger Tour. But I don't like Garino on a quick court. I'm on Kovacevic money line here, but it's like if this went to plus 125 or if this went down to like plus 105 minus 130, I wouldn't be on it anymore. Like this is like basically the bare minimum I play it at.
Okay. That's fair. So
It's a
not
pretty small.
not
What?
play today
No,
caliber.
it's a pretty small unit bet for me.
All right. We're on the same play here. A couple more matches for tomorrow. Marcos Giron against Daniel Galan. Giron is a 3.5 game favorite, minus 225 on the money line. Galan is plus 185. Over under is 22.5. So I'm tempted to hit Galan money line, but I'm staying away. I'm staying away here. Like Giron is another guy. He's kind of like my Kecmanovic. Like I just don't play him. And then Galan also, like, he can play absolutely horrendous tennis on hard court, but then he can play like really good tennis on hard court too. So I don't know what to expect there. Maybe that's the reason to play Galan money line, but I'm curious to see what you have to say about this match.
I get destroyed playing your own.
Oh, come on. But you're not going to play Garon money line, right? Or Garon playing the games? Do not. Do not.
No, I've been getting destroyed playing your own. So I'm not going to back your own.
Okay.
But I've also my temptation here is the 3-set line is plus 145. That's pretty good. And I'm tempted to play it because, like, I don't know, man. Like, both these guys are professionals. And Galan, I think, plays a lot of 3-set matches.
Look it up.
And so does your own.
And their names both start with a G.
Yeah, I mean, you see that, right? That's a ton of 3-set matches.
It's a lot of 3-set. Holy shit, dude. Wow.
And like everything at least is competitive. At least it's a close set, right?
And then even Kotov is 5-5.
There, the only match that's a blowout there is 2-2 versus Cecchinato, which I'm not even sure how he did that. Like that's Cecchinato must not have shown up. And then he got beat down by Dan Evans at the U.S. Open, which makes sense because he's just not like good enough to beat Dan Evans when Dan Evans is playing decent tennis.
But like 3 sets. That's a good look. That's a good look.
Yeah, like I think like
a really good look.
I don't think these guys are that different.
They're not.
And like Galan, like I feel like because he's Colombian, like you want to say he's a clay guy because he's like South American and because he plays a lot on clay, but he does okay on hard.
But he actually has flatter ground strokes, right? So it's like yeah, the clay doesn't. Nah. I mean, they're pretty close in the rankings, right? 82 and 91.
Yeah,
not like. You know what? I think you convinced me. I was hoping to not be convinced.
I also think it's like one of the more fun ways to play these guys. Like if there's a way to play this match that I can justify, like two mediocre players who like they're not clowns. These guys, they're just like very frustrating bets, but they're not clowns.
Giron is a whiner, though, right?
He's a whiner, but he's not a clown. He's just a whiner.
Giron also has no ability to overcome adversity. That's the way I quantify Giron. Like, if he's down and he doesn't know like what to do to win a match, like to. Well,
he's also a little bit limited, right? He kind of just has like his standard ATP ground game, and I feel like that's about it. Like. Right.
But he has no even willingness to even think through that situation, right? Or no even capacity to think through that kind of situation, right? So, yeah. I mean, that's a really good look. That's a really good line you found there. I agree. I agree with you. And just looking at Galan's like 3-set, like I think like 8 of his last 10 matches have gone 3 sets. That's insane.
Yeah. Yeah. And even ones that aren't are like 5-5, 1-5. Like there's a lot of opportunity here to go 3 sets.
Yeah. Good point. Good point.
And it kind of makes sense. Like that's the thing with Galan, right? Like Galan, like he lost his Shardy at the beginning of this year.
Can you drop that? Okay. It's going to be like 2026. We're going to be doing this pod, and you're going to be.
Oh, I will never drop that one. That's like the most. It still is like the most unbelievable. I think it might be the most unbelievable loss of the year. We'll have to do like worst losses of the year, and I think that's the most unbelievable loss of the year. Because like I don't know. I don't know if you watched the match. Like Shardy was like stumbling around in the 4th set. Like he was gonna like pass out if he had to go a 5th, and like Galan still couldn't beat him. And it's like a guy with a heart condition who's like coming back to tennis, has not played any warm-up matches, coming back to like best of 5, and you're like Galan, who like should be good in that situation, and like you can't get the job done. Like
it was a bad loss. It definitely was. All right, next match is Max Purcell against Yu Shu. Purcell is 3-game favorite, -210 on the money line. Shu is +170. Over-under is 22.5.
I like Shu here, man. I've heard a couple of people say it now besides me. I remember I told you that I thought something funky happened to him. He came down on his foot in Winston-Salem against Lechka.
And that's true.
We talked about this on a pod like a couple months ago. Remember, Purcell had like a broken foot earlier this year and didn't say anything.
But then he was healed and had a great run in Cincy.
Yeah, and now all of a sudden, like he came down on his foot funky in Winston-Salem and has played like crap for the past month. My guess, I don't know. Obviously, we don't know this because like he's an individual contractor, so he's not going to say anything. But my guess is he's hurt and he's just like, I mean, this guy Purcell will compete like he's a professional. Like he wants his points, you know what I mean? And he needs his paycheck. So like he keeps showing up because he needs the money and he needs the points. But like I think he's hurt again. He's just playing through it. That's my theory. I mean, he's looked awful the past 2 months, and like it's almost inexplicable how he went from like bad to all of a sudden good for like 2 months, and now all of a sudden he's back and like can't play again.
Yeah, he was like good, then bad, then really good in Cincy, and then had a good run in Winston-Salem, and then really bad again, right? Like, yeah. I mean,
it's especially given that he did fall on his foot funny in that match against Lehechka, and that's like since then he's 1-5, and the only match he won, he beat a guy Hanwen Lee, ranked 545 in the world, in 3 sets. And like the other thing is like Su is decent. Remember, he lost I bet on him to take a set from Nori, I think I bet money line on him against Nori.
Right.
And like he couldn't win an important points to save his life, but like he was like moderately competitive. It's Yusu. It's Yusu Su.
Yushu.
Yeah, Yushu Su.
He qualified too.
Yeah. Beat Kokonakis in the US Open. I mean, this is a pretty good set of results here.
It is.
And I think he's like, his game plays a little better for quicker courts.
Yeah, a lot of the underpowered guys actually play better on on faster courts because like they have a lot
of them are quick, right? Like so like we like this is the thing with hard courts, right? It's like we think quick court, big serve, big game. But a lot of times it's the opposite, where it's like there's a second, like it's kind of like the grass grinder we talk about, but this is a little bit different. This is like the Nishioka type of player, like the quick guy who like, or like the Demonor is the best example of this, like the quick guy who can redirect pace and can succeed on quick hard courts because he can take advantage of his speed.
So you're on Shu money line?
I'm on Shu money line, man. I think this match should be close to 50-50. Like, I think Purcell's hurt and not saying anything. That's my theory.
You might be.
It's too obvious. Like his strings this year are just too obvious to be like anything else.
See, this might be a genius play from you, and like I would feel like I'm left out if I don't tail you here. You know, like no, your logic is great. Your logic is great. and like I see it. It's just like how much confidence do I have in Shu? But seeing his results, it's not that bad.
No, I think there's a 50% chance he loses this.
So you
right?
think
Like,
you pick him, right? So like not plus 170. You should.
I mean, I could even see Purcell being a small favorite. Like if you wanted to put him at like if you wanted to tell me that Purcell wins this 53% of the time, I'd probably agree with you or
Well,
say
if
it's
Purcell is 100% healthy, then like,
oh, then it's no doubt. But like I'm not believing in Purcell until he shows me he can win and beat a quality player again.
right.
Or at least compete, right? Like these matches, he's not even competitive. Like 3-love to Wolf, who we just talked down how bad of a year it's been for Wolf. Like,
yeah. All right, I'm gonna tell you, it's not a play of the day, but like I'm gonna put 1 unit on it.
All right.
Zhang, you'd be willing to make it a play of the day?
I would, yeah. I mean, I think like again, like you're getting plus 170. Like I don't. It's not like the biggest confidence, but like, how often do we feel decently good about a plus 170 money line guy?
Yeah, I just think like you're making some conjecture on Purcell's health, right? Like you don't know for sure. Plus,
I mean, I don't know Max Purcell personally. I'm not in his locker room. Like,
right? Yeah, I know. So
right?
That's why I don't want to make it a play of the day because
I get it.
I just don't know for sure. Like I'm gonna sprinkle for sure, but like
I get it.
Yeah. All right, next match is Zhizhen Zhang against Richard Gasquet. Zhang is a 2.5 game favorite. Gasquet's plus 140 in the money line, where Zhang is minus 170. Over under is 22.5. I think this is pretty well set, and I'm gonna stay away just because I don't like backing Zhang as a favorite. I like backing him as a dog.
I couldn't say it more perfectly, Manny.
All right, perfect. Let's move on. Last match of the day today is Roman Safiullin against Andy Murray. Safiullin is a 1 game favorite, minus 125 on the money line. Murray is plus 105. Over under is 23. Even though it's juice, I like Roman on the money line, minus 125.
Yep, I agree.
Beautiful. Play of the day.
Yeah. Yeah, I would because I don't know, man. Given how Murray's been lately, I don't see why Roman's just been so much better. Yeah.
No, I think it's a bad matchup for Murray because Safiullin is he has so much more power, and Murray is super underpowered in this matchup. The match is totally in Roman's terms. I
just don't again the only way Murray wins this is to grind him out, right?
Right.
That's the only way he can beat anybody now. I don't know, man. I just don't I just don't think Murray's that good. And I'm not even as high on Safiullin as you are, but
I'm gonna sprinkle in the Roman straight sets at plus 180 too.
I don't hate it. Murray's struggling right now, man.
He is. Yeah. All right. So
I think straight would scare me a little bit, Manny. Just because the only guy that Murray's only been straight setted once in his last 12 matches. And there's some pretty good competition there. He took a set from Demonor, took a set from Karatsev, took a set from Fritz, took 2 sets from Tsitsipas.
True. Yeah, he had tactics and competing.
He battles and he's got tactics, but yeah. I'm not saying Roman can't 2-0, but what's the odds? Plus 180 or something?
Yeah, that's not good enough.
Yeah. All right, time to post these bets. Given that it's 5 minutes till match time, we got GBM plays.
All right, money line. So just a quick recap. So our plays of the day are going to be Bernabe plus 4.
Yep.
Yoshi minus 3.
Yep.
Kovacevic money line or no?
Yeah, no. I don't have a lot of confidence in that. No.
And Roman money line, right, against Murray?
Yeah.
All right. Nice. All right, quick break, and then we're going to post our bets, and then we're going to get back to business.
All righty. See you guys back in 5. So J-Rod only likes the official.
All right, welcome back to the show, everyone. So we just went over our round 1 bets for Shanghai. Now we're back to the meat and potatoes, I guess, of the pod. So was it recap?
Yeah, I just gotta call out J-Rod. J-Rod liked your post, man, with our team plays of the day, but he didn't like my post, my other plays. So I'm a little disappointed in J-Rod. We also got a person, Bugs. We got a new person, Bugs, who's supporting some of our stuff. So I like that. Thanks for that, Bugs.
Okay.
Always got to shout out our followers, man. Got to support the fans.
Absolutely. All right. So going back to the tennis. So what are some of your takeaways from? Let's start in Astana, I guess.
Yes, boring, right? We'll do Astana for. I mean, like, I guess congratulations to Manarino, but like, what a shit tournament.
Well, I cashed the plus 350 futures, and
I guess that's like good for you. And we got to win on a GBM play of the day. Like, but yeah, you can keep talking. I'm sorry. I shouldn't bash your futures win so much. I'll already talk about it. Brag. I'm sorry.
Our biggest follower, J-Rod, he cashed the plus 800 futures on Manarino.
It's true.
So yeah, you can't bash the tournament. That was a great tournament for us.
It ended up being a decent tournament from a betting perspective, especially because we nailed, I nailed the Hamad the Hamad Sebastian quarter semi about as well as I could have.
That was an amazing. And I remember we were talking about the over 1.5 tie breaks at plus 850.
We didn't hit it, but we were,
on the pod, right? And we were like second guessing ourselves, and we're like, it's a good play, but like we probably need a little better, right? Isn't that kind of where we're leaning?
We did, yeah.
And like that, but that was crossing our mind, and the fact that crossed our mind, and we got 3 tiebreaks in that match, like you had a perfect that match.
What a bad but with no breaks for the entire match.
Yeah, I didn't see it. I was sleeping, but like I checked the score, and I'm like, holy crap, what a read.
Yeah.
I wasn't like, what tennis? This is amazing tennis. I was like, amazing read by Brad.
It was like, honestly, like, they're like, it's amazing when you have an over 12.5 and like an over for the match, and they both hit in like the first 2 sets.
It's amazing. Yeah, it's great. That's fantastic. And then I think I had good read on the Manarino. Who did he play in the set?
Yeah,
right? All over the Manarino laying the games. Like I just thought he was a way better tennis player, and like there's not much else to say about that.
Yeah, I mean, and Manarino, like, I think in a tournament like this, and like this is why I'm saying what a shit tournament. Like, I don't think he was particularly good. He was just there, like, and played decent tennis, and like nobody else was. Like, if you look, like, okay, so the top seed, right, Griekspoor, played a shit tournament. He got lucky to get through show, and then he played a shit match against Korda. Second seed Baez, like, indoor hard, not his place. Bublik, I think, is hurt because he pulled out of Shanghai. Lehechka has done nothing for a while now. Like, occasional run, like he made the Winston-Salem semi or final.
Lost to
final, so not bad. Like, that's the only thing that's the only thing I can remember him doing recently. Quarter, we've been saying, has been out of form. Like, I don't know. It's just one of those things where, like, like I didn't think like Manarino played a terrific tournament. He just like,
I mean, you play the guys that are in front of you, right? Like we could say this about Djokovic up to the final of the US Open, right? Like,
but it was a better field than this. I get your point, but it was a better field than this.
Yeah, and then the guy that he had to play, with quality, right? Korda, right, who was the favorite to come
But
out
are
of
we
the
even saying that Korda
oh,
has quality right now?
uh, okay, I'm not personally saying he has quality. I'm saying that the odds makers or the market thinks he
Yeah.
has qualities as he was the favorite to win the event,
Yeah.
right? He beat the odds makers favorite. So like I think you have to give him some credit for that, especially coming back from 6-4, 3-1 down and break points to go down 2 breaks and come back to win that. Like that shows some character. I just think Monterino is underappreciated for the season he's had. He's at near his career high ranking at 35 years of age. Like I think this season is kind of going unnoticed for Korda or I'm sorry, for Monterino.
Yeah.
Like he's really good, and I consistently back him in these 250s, and I have not been disappointed. Like I backed him in Mallorca when he made the final. I mean, he played a shit match against Eubanks there, but like backed him to get there, right? But like also Newport, I backed him, right? Here I backed him in some capacity. So it's like he's been cashing tickets.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you.
And this was an interesting match because like I thought that Korda would have taken longer to react to Manarino's game because like this was their first meeting. So I thought like
Yeah.
Manarino's unconventional game, I thought like it would take more time for Korda to kind of adjust to Manarino's game. Manarino might start quick and then Korda would come back. But actually the opposite happened. Like Korda's the one that started fast and then Manarino adjusted to Korda's game. And like that's not a script I expected, but I was very pleasantly surprised that did occur.
Yeah, yeah, I think, yeah, I mean, like, yeah, I agree. I was being a little bit over exaggerated there. Um, like, I was Manarino has had a good season. To your point, Manny, he beat the guys in front of him.
Mm-hmm.
Just I don't think it helps. Like on the other side, we had Beijing, which has been an amazing tournament.
Right.
And meanwhile, we have this Astana that's been like, and it's not just the names. It's just like the tennis has been like, I don't know, just like some just bad matches.
All right, I'm just salivating because I cashed a nice ticket, right? Like so that
Yeah,
I would agree with you if I like didn't have a
but
few.
it's no Arthur Feast ticket.
Yeah, that was 40-1.
Like,
That's basic. Yeah.
yeah.
I guess we could well, let's talk about a little bit about Corda. Like I think that's a very disappointing loss. The fact that you were up a set in the break and you can't close out at Manarino.
Yeah.
It just like reaffirms what we already kind of thought of him, right?
But I guess I was gonna bring this up. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know how much of this is that he's actually that bad, and how much of it is that like we expect him to be good, right? I think there's like because I'm looking at his stats, right? Like since um so since the hard court season started, so last 2 months, right? Since the end of July, this hard court swing, he went 10-6, 86% hold, 21% break, 68% service points won, 37% return points won. That's pretty good. Like, that's not bad. I think like
Okay.
I think the problem is like, so I think it's twofold, right? It's one, when you go out and you beat Daniil Medvedev and give Novak Djokovic a tough test, probably the toughest test he had to start the season. Like, you're going to increase expectations, and expectations are going to be that you can compete at that level.
Fair.
I think the second thing is he's like so honest in speaking, it like doesn't help him. Like, I'm sure he thinks he's a favorite to win Wimbledon, but when you say it out loud, right, you put a target out, like not for the rest of the tour, but for fans, like for podcasters like us, you put a target out there that's like, okay, now we're like,
well, we'll get into that with Alcaraz later, because I think it's the same kind of thing going on with him, and like, but yeah, I tend to agree with you. Like, yeah.
And if you look, like, that's been like, look, he's been 10-6 in his hard court swing against ATP competition. The wins list isn't amazing, but he did beat Popperin here. He did beat Griekspoor here. Like, I don't know, man. Like, this, like, yeah, he's had a couple of bad losses, right? Like, losing to Fusevitz kind of screams out as a not good loss. The loss to Vesely in Wimbledon was, I don't know how that can happen to you.
That's really bad, especially when you are a threat to win the event. Like, and
but yeah, when you say you're a threat to win the event and then you lose to Yuri Vesely, like, that's not good. So, you know, but like, and I think that's part of it. Like people have been putting Korda as like a potential threat to win tournaments, and
he's far away from that.
He's not that, but like, I don't know. We're getting to a point in the season where you kind of are what your rank says you are, probably more so than any other time in the season, I feel like, because now we've had like 7-8 months of sustained play. And especially if your rank hasn't moved that much, like, I'm looking at it. So Korda's rank this year has, his low was 33 to start the season. His high was 25 in Wimbledon. He's now 28. He'll probably move up a little bit after this finals run in Astana. That's probably where he is, to be honest. I think he's a top, like, he's like a borderline C.
Don't you think Monterino is better than him at the moment?
It's hard to evaluate because Monterino is a complete zero on clay and on slow hard courts. Like, he needs some help, whether it be altitude or a quicker court. So it's hard to evaluate because, like, it depends on the surface.
Okay.
But Manarino would also probably be better than his rank, right? Like you'd probably argue that Manarino is slightly better than his ranking that's in the mid-30s, and that'll go up obviously after winning a 250.
Well, I think on this court, I mean, he showed that he's better than Korda, right?
Well, he's one break better, right? So he's not like miles better. And I mean, obviously, if he was down, a set at a break and a double points down a double break.
I think Korda kind of overachieved in that first set. Like, in that first set, he played really, really well. Like, better than I've ever seen him play, or like better than I've seen him play in the last couple months, at least, right? Like, the way he played to close out that first set was not quite Australian Open Korda, but like that level. But he just couldn't maintain that, right?
Yeah.
So
I'm just saying, I think Korda's like, I think like he's suffering from over expectations, right? Like, and because of that, like, it's like when you don't meet expectations, right? Then we're gonna say you suck. But is it that our expectation, like, but like, like, we're not the only ones putting those expectations on him.
But I think
I don't feel bad about that.
But to me, if you lower those expectations by 15 to 20%, he's still lowering them.
Yeah.
Right, like, he's supposed to win these 250s. Like, I think Vonch put out a tweet, like, how poor he's been in just overall finals.
He has been poor in finals. His record in finals,
like, not even ATP level.
Yeah, all finals,
like all poor. Finals in general. So. Yeah, I don't know. I Korda is just like I really think his forehand is the biggest liability in this game, in my opinion. Like he's so erratic with that ball.
I don't know. I think his whole game is kind of a liability right now, to be honest. Well, actually, all his strokes. Like his movement is good.
Yeah,
It's just his strokes.
but he's not really good out of the corners. Like if he's like pushed in the corners, like he doesn't defend well.
I don't know. I think he's fine from there. He's not like a Zapata. Like not many guys are good. Like we say that about a lot of guys, right? Like there's guys who are really bad out of there, like guys like Zapata and maybe even Etch to a little lesser extent.
Zapata's really bad. He's already down 3-love against Nakashima.
How? It better not be 2 breaks.
It's 1 break.
Okay. All right.
But, yeah. All right. Well, that does it for Borat.
Yeah, there's not too much else to talk about there.
Let's head over to Beijing, which has been a jam-packed tournament. With just stars, right? It's basically like quarterfinal of Grand Slam, semifinal.
It's close to. I mean, the only guy who's not here is Djokovic. It's incredible.
It's incredible. It's incredible. So I mean, we left you. Our last pod was like previewing the quarterfinals, right? So we had Alcaraz versus Ruud. I think we had a backdoor cover with the -5, right? Like Ruud started out 3-love.
And that was amazing. That was incredible. I had given up on it. I was like, oh, it's 3-love, and it's a 5. Like this is dead, sad times. Then all of a sudden, like the comeback happened. It was amazing.
It was amazing. So Ruud's record against top 5 players I don't think he's beaten a top 3 player, right, in his career.
Yeah.
So you don't seem surprised by it, but like the fact that he was 1 win away from world number 1, like, for him to not beat a single top 3 player in his entire career.
Okay. But let's look at that world number 1, right? He had Nadal was injured, right? At least for part of that run. Zverev had been injured at that point. Djokovic wasn't playing half the tournaments because of the vaccination issue. So, like,
you don't have to tell me. I mean, I was the one that was bashing him for getting to 2 slam finals.
Right. But it was it was a weird time, right? Like, yeah. Medvedev hadn't figured out yet how to play on clay or grass. Like,
right.
Wimbledon had no points, so that helped him.
That's
right.
True. That's
that was actually a major help because his worst surface was basically eliminated. So, like,
good point.
I mean, ironically, his rank has fallen now. And actually, it's something we should probably talk about before Shanghai is the race. Again, it's always interesting at this point to bring up the race to Turin, but right now he's out of it. Yeah, I think he's number 10 right now in the race. Like,
and honestly, that's kind of where he belongs, right? Like, does he really belong in the top 8? I don't think so. And like, that's with a Grand Slam final.
I think he's borderline because like
he's borderline, but 10 is borderline, right? It's just on the
other side. Yeah. Because like I think you have to give him his due. He is really good on clay. Not just the French Open, but like the overall results on clay. Masters haven't been good, but like the fact that he's been into 2 French Open finals in a row tells me like it's not like a big tournament problem. So like he's been good on clay. The problem is he can't like just faster surfaces. It's not happening for him. And even the U.S. Open isn't really fast, right? But we talked about it. Like he chose to play a bunch of exos in December, and
that seemed to have screwed him up.
Yeah, that seemed like a bad move. Like,
I mean, his bank account is probably not thinking the same way, right? Like,
well, but we talked about this, right? Because we had this little like spat maybe a few weeks ago on this pod where I was like, yeah, I wish they had more of an off season, and you corrected me because you were like, they'll just play exos,
right?
Like, there's always money out there for them to play, so they'll just like play and pick up paychecks. And but for some of these guys, like, man, they really got to take the time off because like
Yeah, I mean, credit to Rude. Like one thing that I do like about him is that physicality is never an issue with him, right? Like he could play
Yeah,
3 sets, he could play 5 sets. Like he's always going to be fine physically. So I do appreciate that about him. But yeah, I think in terms of game, like that's where he belongs. He belongs like 10 in the world, right? Like, and even this year at the French, like he defended his points, but he was a product of a pretty weak draw, right? Like he was on the side without Alcaraz or Djokovic,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So he got lucky again, and like credit to him, he beat the players in front of him, but still, like, I don't know.
I think you have to give him his due that I think you could say he's a top 5 player in the world on clay.
That I would agree with you. But that
And
being
then he's
said, during the French Open, I don't think either of us had him in our top 5 of power rankings.
Yeah, well, he was not good leading up. It was a weird, but it was tough to. You know what? It was tough in retrospect is that like, it's also the like again he does really well in like weird spots of the season. Right, he does really well in like that like European clay spot of the season, like that year like the European clay spot after Wimbledon. He does well there. Like, yeah.
Yeah. He didn't do that well this year, though. Remember, he lost that set 6
So
love.
like, how did he get to 10 in the world? Is it truly they just made the finals of the French? Because he did win a 250, right? He won Bastad or one of those tournaments.
Bastad, yeah.
Yeah, I got it right. Bastad. Won Estoril.
Oh, Estoril. That's
And he
right.
made the semis of Rome. So he actually
He
didn't
didn't
have
win
that
Bastad.
bad.
Rublev, I think Rublev won Bastad. It was Estoril.
Estoril's when he won. Yeah, yeah. Finals of Bastad he made.
Right.
Um, Semis of Rome. Like, it's easy to really like. It's easy to hate on him, but he's like he's I don't know. He's like he's who he is. Like the oddball run was probably the U.S. Open final run, to be honest, in retrospect.
That was the oddball run, yeah.
And who did he beat to get there?
He beat Tommy Paul in the 3rd round. He beat Corentin Mute in the 4th round. He beat
In the 4th round.
yeah.
Berrettini quarters, Kachanov semis. So not bad. Not really what you'd expect to make a slam
Well,
final.
not bad, but not good. I mean, like it's not as strong. It's not a really strong field.
It's better than the Astana field. I think 3 of you guys would want Astana.
Yeah, all right. Enough about Casper Ruud, but like I think in the other semi, Sinner beat Dimitrov, right? But that was a tight, fun 3-set match.
You mean quarter?
I cashed a massive parlay on that match, getting Sinner to get to over 12.5.
Yeah, that was probably a smart play there. I completely stayed away from that. That was probably a smart play.
Well, it could have gone the other way because Sinner had 3 break points. Like, so he won the first set 6-4, and he had 3 break points at 3-all in the second.
And then it fell apart. Yeah,
It fell apart. So, like Dimitrov, like, when do you ever expect Dimitrov to get through get over a love 40 against Sinner? Like, you're toast. You're toast. And then I got just a lifeline, right? And then I guess Sinner got discouraged and then got broken. Dimitrov won the 2nd set. And then I think Sinner threw up and then played better in the third set.
Yeah.
So, but this food poisoning doesn't seem to have affected him that much.
He lost a set to Dan Evans. He lost a set to Dimitrov.
Didn't lose a set to Alcaraz.
Also didn't lose a set to Yoshi Nishioka. Yeah, I don't like. I don't know. It may have affected him, but he was still able to get through those matches. You know what I mean? Like he was able to, he was able to get through. Like he was able to get through, right? Like he was able to battle his way through. Like it didn't, I don't know if it was at his best. He probably wouldn't tell you he was at his best against Dimitrov, but he found a way through.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
what we're worried about is like I do feel like a lot of times there's a like residual effect when you're sick like that. Where, like you can play okay when you're sick, but then it's actually like as your body's recovering when you play worse because it's like I don't know, maybe it's like it takes extra energy to like play when you're sick and then you're like more tired or something next time you come out. But that's my
Well,
theory about playing while
well,
sick.
we'll get into the match against Medvedev, but I'm curious to see what your takes. But
Yeah.
based on what you're saying there, I kind of know where you're leaning.
Yeah.
But yeah. So meanwhile, 5-love Nakashima.
Not over yet. Bernabe could win the match.
He could, but he could win and not cover. But yeah.
067676 coming? That'd be amazing. Honestly, I would be happy if that happened. Like I wouldn't even be sad if that happened. Like I'd be happy for my push if that happened.
That's true. So that's the Sinner Dimitrov match. The other quarter, I think that was the other side of the draw, right? It was Medvedev against Ugo Humbert, right?
Yeah.
I don't think there's too much to say there, right? Like Medvedev was just better.
Yeah, I didn't bet it. I didn't have anything on it. I thought it was pretty well. I think the line was like 4.5, something like that. And I thought
We
it was
were
pretty
potting
well.
during the match anyway, so
Yeah.
yeah. And then the other one was Zverev against Yari, right? We got lucky in hitting the over 22 and a
We got
half.
lucky in the yeah. My set one tiebreak didn't come in here. That was a sad time. The set two tiebreak came in. It's always so sad when I bet like the tiebreak in the one set.
It's a read though, right? Like so you can't be upset at the read.
Yeah, and you're gonna lose some of those, right? Like, you just have to accept that's gonna be a thing.
Right. So regarding the Alcaraz Sinner match, so I have something to say about Alcaraz. Like,
okay,
I don't really like all these expectations he's putting on himself. I think he's getting a little bit too honest slash I wouldn't call it arrogance, but just like overly confident in these press conferences, where he's just expressing that he wants to catch Novak and this number one is always on his mind. Like, yes, I know you were number one, you lost the ranking, right? But like, you're not on Novak's level, right? He's won 3 slams, you won 1 this year, right? So I don't think that should really be a thing. And I just think it's almost like he's putting too much pressure on himself and like he's putting this target on his back where other guys are just kind of zeroing in on him because like he's mentioned this in his press conferences. I think he just needs to dial back the rhetoric a little bit. And I'm surprised that Ferrero is not really on him for that because I kind of think these expectations that not necessarily the public is putting on him, but himself is putting on him, like he's putting on himself is kind of getting to him from a mental perspective. I don't know if you could want to respond to that.
So with Alcaraz, I love everything he says. I would like in terms of like I love that he's thinking that way. Like everything he says, I'm like happier. And like, even when in like how vulnerable he is, and how he talks about like oh I need to work on my maturity or I need to like how open he is about like what's happening and what he's feeling.
Mm-hmm.
I love that he's that way and that he's self-reflective and that he's got that in his personality.
Yeah, he's self-reflective. I get right.
And like I think the reality is everyone's expecting those number one expectations are on him anyways.
Mm-hmm.
And like I think he should be putting this on himself because I think he's close enough. Like you talk about all the time how you want everybody to like try to be number one, and like at least he's trying to do that, right? Like he's not, and
but it's enough that the public puts that expectation on him, right? But like when he openly says that, that's what puts a target on his back. Like I understand, I think he can think those things, and I think it's great that he thinks those things, and we know he thinks these things because he's said it in the past. But I don't think he needs to keep saying it because that's what like puts that extra pressure where he doesn't perform his best.
Yeah, I don't know if it. Yeah, I I probably agree. Like, I don't think he needs to be saying it like as much as he says it, but I love that he's thinking it. And I was actually going to harp more on. I think it's very interesting that he's so self-reflective in press conferences, because I thought that's where we're going to go with it. And I think that's the more interesting part is how like.
Well, I like what what he said after the Medvedev loss, whereas like I'm not ready for these matches and I need to mature. Like that's good. I have no problem with that. The problem I have with like, I think about number one every day and catching Novak. Like that's where I think he needs to think that, but not say it. And that's where that's where I lie.
Yeah, I don't.
Because
Like,
when
if
you don't back it up on the court and you lose a 6-1 set to Sinner after he has food poisoning, that's what like rubs me the wrong way. I mean, I'm not everyone, right? Like not everyone's as harsh as me, right? But like like that means that you're talking the talk, but you're not walking the walk. And that's what bothers me.
Yeah, I don't think it matters. Like, I don't think like I think players like I don't think it's going to impact how the tour sees him. This how he's talking in the press conferences. Like, I don't think it's going to impact. I don't think it has like much impact. I don't think it like. I doubt it impacts him. Like, I don't know why. Like, I think if he's got those pressures, he's already got them on himself. So like, what does it matter? But I agree with you. I probably think it's like overall kind of. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I don't think like. I don't even know that I would want to broadcast out. He would like that. If I was him, I'd want to broadcast out like the fact that like my tactics were poor today against Sinner. Like he says a lot. I think he is a little bit oversharing. Like, I don't know. Like your competitors could pick up small things off of those press conferences potentially. So I wouldn't. I don't know. I think he would do better to probably be a little less open in press conferences, but it's tough because it's also so good for the sport. You know what I mean? To have a player.
But not everyone thinks like us. Like he's good enough to the sport just with his game and with his charisma that he shows on the court. Right? Like
but people have definitely, but this is definitely a talk about thing, right? Because you have a guy in Novak who's like not really a particularly liked star, right? Who's been more of the heel. And so I think you've seen that, like where Novak does not have the fan reach that he should for being the greatest of all time, right? Like if you look at Novak's fan reach versus Federer's, right? It's like
I agree with that.
I mean, and so it's really tough because I think Alcaraz's personality like makes him more of like a crossover star. So it's a really complicated thing. Because it's probably like career, like it's probably like tennis career good or tennis career bad, celebrity career good.
Do you remember Federer and Nadal being as open as Alcaraz throughout their careers? Like all Nadal would say is like, I need to be at my best to beat this guy, and I need to embrace the suffering. Like that's all he would say, right? Like, he wouldn't.
Yeah, he didn't have to, but I think that Alcaraz's personality, both on the court and a little bit off the court as well, I think it helps his popularity.
My point is, I don't think the general public kind of analyze what Alcaraz says as much as we do. And I don't think it necessarily matters. Like if he just would say the pencil pusher kind of answer and just be like, I need to play better, but still goes on court, runs like a gazelle and plays all these crazy shots, I think that's enough for the general public.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess like what does enough mean though? Because we've definitely seen this, right? Like if we go to crossover sports like other stars, right? Like if you're out there marketing yourself, you become even bigger, right? Like Michael Jordan, yes, like Michael Jordan is the greatest basketball player of all time because he was a great basketball player. But you can make an argument as whether or not he's the best basketball player of all time. The reason why fans, but like what you can't argue is like the Nike marketing campaign lifted him to a place he otherwise wouldn't have gotten to in his career in terms of superstardom. Right? So if you're trying to like, So I think I think it helps. Like the being a star part. Now I don't know if Alcaraz is trying to do that either, but it's an interesting conversation.
Yeah, that's another part of it. Like, I don't think Alcaraz is necessarily trying to do that. I think he's just going based on instinct, right? But his instinct is not necessarily the best for himself and like his career, I think. And like I don't like when people talk this big game and then don't back it up. If you're gonna talk like that, you gotta back it up. That's just the way I say it. And if you feel like you're losing a slight edge and you still talk this way, then that's not you're not holding your end of the bargain.
But he's so open. Like it's one of the, like he's talking about what he wants to be, not like not what he thinks he is right now, right? And I guess like that's where I give him a little bit of a pass. Like, he's saying he wants to be number one, and that for him that should be his goal. Like that's an incredibly reasonable goal. He's been there. And like
It's a reasonable.
He's not saying he is number one. He's actually saying he's not number one. He's saying he's trying to catch Novak. So I don't like. I guess I don't see it that way. I just think in general, like I actually thought you were going to go more with just the general openness he has about like all like when he's having various problems, and I think that could be a little more. I think it would benefit him to be a little more subdued about that.
Subdued about that. Okay.
Just because I don't know, man. Like I mean, look, if I was a pro tennis player, I would have to be the worst interview ever. I would give like the ultimate pencil pusher answer. I'd be like Bill Belichick. I'd be like, if I won, I'd be like, I played good today. Other guy was tough. He's a great player. Credit to him, great match, and like that's all I would say. Like,
right.
And if I lost, I'd be like, I didn't play well today. Other guy played better. That's all I have to say.
Repeat that over and over again. Like, yeah, I mean,
I just wouldn't want to give my competitors anything. You know what I mean? Because I think like, and it's not like we don't analyze stuff. Like, but I think when you outwardly say stuff,
yeah,
it can be a little bit like right, like I don't know, like the other top players could pick. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Novak is trying to pick up on that and trying to strategize not based on that, but if it plays some role in his strategy.
Yeah, that's I guess. I just like don't like that he's talking about number one and then loses like this. Like that's where.
But he's not like he's not saying I think I'm number one. He's not quoted saying I think I should be a Wimbledon favorite, right? Like he's saying he wants to be number one. Like I don't know.
Obviously, I mean, he also said like it's the only thing on my mind, and like
what else should be on his mind?
Yeah, I like that he's thinking it. I just don't like that he's saying it.
I guess I agree. I'm much more ambivalent about that aspect of it, and much more like I would rather not like talk about his weaknesses so much. Like it's great that he's vulnerable, and it's probably good, but like it seems like it's bad, like to show your tour competitors like your vulnerabilities. Like, but the fact that he's talking about like, oh, how when he's yelling at himself, like it means he's losing confidence. Like, I don't know. I don't think I'd want to be telling my opponents that. Like, because now, when Novak's playing him, he's gonna be looking on the other side of the court. Oh, he's yelling at himself, confidence down. Like, time to just make balls. Like I don't think that's like, I don't think that's like
Yeah, it's not a good. And he exhibits so much quality on the court. Like I think he's just giving too much.
Yeah.
Press conferences, like tone it down a little bit. And then like I almost knock Ferrero more than I knock Alcaraz for this, because like Ferrero, this is the kind of stuff that he should be getting in his ear about.
I think I would agree. Yeah, I think I would agree.
A coach, like Alcaraz is 20 years old. Yeah, like this is the first rodeo at this, right? Like he's not a 15-year veteran like Djokovic is, dealing with these press conferences and expectations. So like I think this is kind of the kind of stuff that he should be in his ear about.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know. I don't know about you, but like Alcaraz seems like a slight guy to fade here in Shanghai.
So I was going to talk. It'll be good for our preview. I don't know what fade means with him. Like how much can you fade him? It's so hard. Like the problem is like we'll talk about more in the Shanghai preview. It's more an interesting conversation there. But like, yeah.
All right.
But yeah, I mean, after match day, Sinner played well. Sinner beat him 6-1. I didn't see it, but Sinner apparently played great.
Played great, but I feel like it was more due to Alcaraz errors. Like this was an Alcaraz 2022 tactic match.
Well, he said, I think he said something after the match. I don't know if it was this match or one of the other matches. He said he needs to get better tactically. So he knows.
Yeah, he's obviously smart, and he has a. Yeah, maybe I should knock him a little bit less because he has a very quick learning curve. Like we can't knock him for not having a quick learning curve, right? Like the way he learned on grass this year was second to none. Right?
Yeah.
Going from like barely playing on the surface to Wimbledon champion.
Winning Wimbledon is pretty amazing. Yeah. I mean, it's Nadal-esque, right? And even Nadal took him a few years.
I know. So, yeah. All right. So, and then let's talk a little bit about Medvedev and Zverev. So, I mean, Zverev continued to win ugly, right? He beat Yari in the quarters, and then he lost to Medvedev, where it probably was the end, right, for him, just like based on also how much tennis he's played, right?
My take on this is like, and this is a really interesting topic. So I kind of wanted to delve into this. So like, there's different reasons we stay away from matches, right? Like one reason is because like a guy like you have like a Kecmanovic who's just like a complete like you have no idea, right? Like another reason will be like something weird's going on, like the cynic food poisoning thing, where it's like, okay, this line looks funky, but like I don't know, right? Like it's like this line looks funky, and then he's got food poisoning. You're like, well, okay, I don't know like how to like I don't know how much to quantify the food poisoning. Like I know this line is off,
right?
But I also know there's weird thing that I don't know how to quantify. Right? There's obviously just don't have a good feel for the match, a good feel for the players in the matchup. That could be a reason. But like another reason is like some matchups I think are just like solved by the bookies. And like I just feel like Medvedev Zverev, like you could do it whenever, and it's just roll a dice. And if it rolls a 5 or a 6, Zverev wins. And if it's 1 through 4, Medvedev wins. Like Medvedev's just going to win 2 out of 3 times because he's just like, he's a little bit better mentally than Zverev. And he's just going to be, and like, I just think it's a really hard match to bet because I feel like the markets have like solved it.
So you don't think any of this match had to do with a Zverev fatigue?
No. I mean, Zverev's been fine. So it's actually interesting because we'll talk about that in our preview, I'm sure, for Shanghai as well. But like, no, because Zverev's done this in the past and been fine. Like Zverev is one of the few guys that can play day after day after day, and I don't think it bothers him. Like Medvedev's like that too, right? Medvedev did the Doha Dubai, was it Doha the Rotterdam Doha Dubai triple?
Yeah,
like the goat of all time, never been done before. Like
yeah, but you might be right. Yeah, I mean, I was watching a little bit of that match, and it didn't seem like he was fatigued in any way. So I guess I think what goes unnoticed is how well Medvedev is playing right now. Like, and I don't think we can ignore that. Right?
I agree.
Like, I saw somewhere on Twitter, I don't know if it was Bonch or someone on Twitter said that like this was one of the better matches that Medvedev has played all year. And this was on the level of that semifinal against Alcaraz.
Okay.
I can't really quote that because like I didn't see the entire match. I was watching the court more of the court of Monterrey at the same time. But I don't know. I just think he's continued that form, and like maybe the first and third sets were against Djokovic weren't like up to this level, but like the second set surely was. Right? Like that was an amazing set of tennis. And he's just playing at a very high level on hard court right now. Like I honestly feel like I want to back him in Shanghai. I gotta take a closer look at his draw. But I think I'm gonna back him in some capacity here.
Okay.
Because the way Alcaraz is playing right now and the way Medvedev is playing right now, I think like Medvedev could beat him again.
Okay.
Something drastic changes.
Okay. Do you think he's more than 50-50?
I think it's about 50-50, but you're going to get like significant plus money on Medvedev.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So like it gives you a reason to back him. So.
Yeah. I think if ever like yeah, I'll agree with those takes. Granted, he did lose a set to Ugo Humbert, so like and Humbert's not that bad. Humbert's playing really well right now too, but like, I don't think he's like at an unbeatable level right now. Like this isn't
Did he lose the set to him?
Yeah. And he imploded against Demonor and almost lost a set to Demonor. He was down 5-6-0 30. So like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know.
He implodes, but like also Medvedev tends to implode more against lower ranked opposition.
He does. He does when he knows he can get away with it. I know. He's actually like Alcaraz. Like him and Alcaraz have this really bad tendency of like Medvedev implodes. Alcaraz like he almost starts like clowning
because he knows he's gonna win, right? So it's like he just wants to entertain the crowd and just like trick shots and stuff.
I don't know what happens to Medvedev. I think Medvedev just like I think there's probably this inner cockiness that he thinks he should beat like when he goes up against like a Baez or a Demonor that he should beat him like 2-2. And when it's close, he's like, what the fuck's going on? Like, why am I not up 2-2? Fuck this. Like, and then he just goes on a little like temper tantrum for 10 minutes and he realizes like, all right, you know what? Like, I really should just win this match and like come back and just, just fight through it. And like, that's really the way to go. But yeah, it's kind
of. I think that's a good transition into the Beijing final, right? Like, that. So the Beijing final. Bovada sucks, man. Yannick Sinner and Daniil Medvedev. So Sinner is a 2.5 game dog plus 145 on the money line. Over under is 22.5. Medvedev is a minus 175 on the money line. So for me, I don't know. Why don't you go first? And I'll tell you if I agree with you.
I've gone with a very untraditional play here.
Untraditional. Okay.
Untraditional. I've gone Sinner under. I don't know if this line is still available, but I've gone Sinner under 11.5 games at plus 140. It's now down to 115. I got it at 140 earlier. Yeah, that was my play. If you look at their head-to-head, Medvedev's like 6-0. He's been absolutely dominant. It's kind of similar to 2-0, right? Because like I don't think this is gonna go 7-6, 7-6. So it's kind of similar to a 2-0, except like Medvedev's pulled off a bunch of 6-2 sets against Sinner. Especially if Sinner's worn out from the whole food poisoning thing, and he like there's a chance he could win a first set and then just be like completely gassed out. Didn't that happen in Rotterdam?
It did.
Was it Rotterdam? Where he lost like 7-5, like where it's like 7-5, 2-6, 2-6.
And then in the Miami final, he just gassed out. Period.
Yeah. So that's my play here. Is like I said, I got it at 140. The odds were a lot like before. Like this morning, this line. I don't know if it opened it this, but like at one point, this line was a 2-game spread. It was like and I don't think it was like a juice to you could get Medvedev at. It was kind of amazing.
That's a good call. I already played this. I mean, I played a more conventional line, and I just played Medvedev minus 2.5 or minus. Maybe did I hit it -2? I hit it earlier today. Let me see. I mean, I think you have to go pro Medvedev here, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, I think given the head-to-head, so like this is one where I'm really surprised because like this matchup is like 6-0 Medvedev, isn't it? Isn't the head-to-head like
Something
6-0
like
Medvedev
that.
or
Yeah.
something?
It's
And
just
like,
yeah, Sinner's just gonna go way too big, and like, yeah, he's just gonna.
it's also something where like, so this brings up two more interesting conversations.
Yeah.
So I talked about solved matchups before. Like, I'm really surprised to see this because like, so I don't love head to head very often, but I found that when there's like more than 5 matches between guys, I tend to get a little more into the head to head, especially if there's like more than 5 matches in the past like 3 to 4 years.
Okay.
Because I think like if you see that, then there's probably a reason. And in this case, like I think you and I would both agree, there's a reason Medvedev 6-0 against Sinner.
I agree. I mean, I think Medvedev does exactly what Sinner doesn't like. Like Sinner can hit as big as he possibly wants. Like Medvedev is going to read the game and get to those balls without any trouble, right? And he likes that pace, right?
I mean, all Medvedev, like Sinner does nothing to take Medvedev out of his game plan of like stand 10 feet behind the baseline and push.
Yeah. And Medvedev likes that pace, and he's going to be more patient than Sinner, right? Just causing errors. Like the only way for Sinner to really win points here is he has to hit like 5 or 6 really good balls and come into net. And he hasn't proven that he's.
I mean, if he rips like 3 winners in a row, he'll get one for a winner. Yeah. But he has hit 3 winners to win a point. It's really tough thing to do. It's consistently to win a match. It's just a really bad matchup for Sinner. And like, Medvedev's not playing poorly right now. I agree with you. I really don't like. I think this is way overhyping Sinner winning a match against Alcaraz.
I agree.
Like,
it's a totally different matchup. I don't think you can equate the.
Nope, you can't at all. You can't at all. Like that's why I think the head-to-head matters, right? Because like in matches when you see enough head-to-head between guys, because like Sinner Alcaraz, like to me that's like a 60-40 Alcaraz match.
Well, it's a proven matchup that Alcaraz doesn't like.
But I still think Alcaraz wins it more than half the time.
Probably. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I still think Alcaraz is like if in a general sense, I would put Alcaraz as a favorite. I know he didn't win today, but I put him as a favorite. I would put like for instance, I would put like I think Sinner has a way better chance of beating Alcaraz than Medvedev does.
Agreed, but I do think that U.S. Open match kind of it didn't like fully put it into his favor, but I think it slightly did. Like I think it's 65-35 on a hard court.
Okay.
Whereas before I thought it was like 80-20.
Okay, so I haven't moved it that much, but still we still agree. Because I think Sinner is still probably like a 40% chance, whereas Medvedev's at 35. But like in this matchup, Sinner's nowhere near Medvedev.
Yeah, I agree.
And so my point is like I think when you have enough head-to-head, like when you have if you have 2 head-to-head matchups, gotta be really careful putting that into your line, into your betting, because like there's so many things that could have been happening during those 2 matches. But if you say 6, 7, 8 matches, there's probably a reason, right? There's probably something going on there.
Right.
So and that's not earth-shattering, but I think it's relevant because you always hear guys say.
I have 2 units on the Medvedev -2.5 at -110. It's gone up to -120, but
yeah. The other interesting question I have here is like, do you ever try to use the betting lines to like read what's going to happen? So like, I didn't fully explain this out to you over text today, but basically I had placed a bet on Sinner, plus the 4 last night.
Okay.
And then I read more about the food poisoning. And I read that he had it for like since the first, like for 2 matches. And I got a little skittish. So I went to try to pull my bet. But since the line had gone to 4.5, like I couldn't get a good hedge price on it. And like I would have had to give up like half my unit to like basically to hedge off it or whatever. Yeah. So I was like, I don't want to give up half my unit. That's just stupid. So like I'll just keep my stupid +4 bet and hope it works out. And then by the morning, so then I woke up early this morning and I saw the line to come back from 4.5 to 4, right? And I actually could have gotten my money back then, like all my money, maybe plus like a little bit, plus like, maybe like a tenth of a unit or something.
Right.
But I decided not to because I was like, well, if the line's gone from 4.5 back to 4, that means money came in on Sinner. If money came in the early morning on Sinner, like the afternoon in Beijing, that must mean somebody saw something that's like pro Sinner. And because the only reason that I wouldn't back Sinner is the food poisoning, like maybe he's okay, so I'll keep this bet. Do you ever like read the markets like that or not really?
Not really. I tend to kind of go with how I think. I feel like I follow tennis closely enough and watch it enough where I can kind of gauge what's going to happen regardless of what the market is saying. I do respect what they're saying. I just like if I have confidence in a bet that I place, I don't like think too much in what the public is thinking per se.
Okay.
I might like, oh, why is it moving? Like if it moves kind of more than I expected, I'm like, oh, why did it move? And like kind of read into it. But if nothing like happened and it's just what the public is hitting, then I don't really think too much about it. But that's just me. Like in other sports, which I don't follow as closely, if I place a bet, that's when I would kind of like think twice, right? And like kind of
Makes
view
sense.
what the market is. But like since I'm following this daily and like, watch tennis every night, like not really, right?
Sense. You have more confidence here. I get it. That makes sense.
Yeah. Yep. So you're going with the under 11.
The Sinner under 11.5.
Under 11.5.
It's a very unorthodox bet.
And I'm going with the Medvedev minus 2.5.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
I'll be very interested to see what happens.
Yeah. All right, let's what's going on in Shanghai? Wow, Liavik is up 5-2. Boo is up. Wait, maybe I have to refresh these. Oh, Liavik won the first at 6-4. Boo and Kecmanovic are 3-all.
Should have taken a Boo.
She's been suspended for some reason. And then Zapata. See, Nakashima could win a first set, and then you know that something is gonna happen, right? Like, can Nakashima ever win like an easy match?
No.
Maybe
you know what that's going to end up. That's going to end up a push, Manny. In some way, shape, or form, that's going to end up a push.
Well, I bet 3.5.
Oh, oof.
Yeah.
It's going to end up at 4, and you're going to be like, "Why did I do this? What is the meaning of life?"
Yeah. Or Nakashima will end up easily and go to like some kind of lab where they're like dissecting COVID variants or something,
He does. He needs to go back to the lab. That's definitely true.
He does. He does have to go back to the lab. Not just for chemistry, but for tennis as well.
Yeah, right? the tennis game lab.
All right, quick break, and then we're gonna talk draw talk in Shanghai and recap the rest of the first preview the rest of the first round matches. We'll be right back.
Yep.
All right, welcome back to our show. So we are going to now do the Shanghai preview, the draw talk.
Draw talk.
Some interesting discussions there in our last segment. Like I please for all the viewers out there, like I want to hear some comments, like what you guys think. Am I being a little bit too harsh on Alcaraz? I always like people to keep us in check.
I'm also interested in what people's thoughts are on the comments we have about like are some matches solved? Like is a match like Zverev, like is that really 2-1 almost no matter what's going on? Like maybe it moves half a game one way or the other, but it's pretty close to that line. And like and then it's interesting to hear what people's thoughts are on like on reading the markets as well, kind of the way like people play stocks like that.
Mm-hmm.
So A lot of interesting topics there. Very interesting pod, Manny, so far. Very interesting pod.
Very good pod.
We're not having much to talk about. We managed to talk for a long time.
Yes.
Which is kind of the hallmark of our pod, to be honest. We just blab about nothing. But
this hasn't been blabbing. It's actually been some like tennis substance.
Yeah.
All right. So let's go over the draw here. So Alcaraz is the number 1 seed. Obviously, he'll play the winner of Nuno Borges against Gregor Barrère.
Gregor the Jaguar Barrère.
Just another guy.
Just another guy.
Mikhail Kukushkin will play Alexander Muller, and the winner of that match will play Dan Evans in the second round. Grigor Dimitrov will play the winner of Alexander Vukic and Roberto Carballes Baena. Babit Zhukayev will play Stefano Napolitano to qualifiers. Will play the winner of Karen Khachanov in the second round. Francis Tiafoe will play the winner of Seklic against Sonego. Jordan Thompson will play Atmane, and the winner of that match will play Nico Yari. Yuri Lehechka will play the winner of Van Asch against Schwartzman. That's actually a pretty interesting match. I'm actually looking forward to that one. Watnuki against Shang, 2 Asian guys against Taylor Fritz.
That Watnuki match actually be really fun. We'll do a match preview on that, but that'll actually be a really fun match.
It's a fun match. So, what catches your eye in this quarter?
Alcaraz is a -165 favorite to win the quarter. I'm not going to bet it.
Are those lines still up?
I doubt it because they're playing matches right now, so I usually take them down. But I saw you might be able to find them on another site though. Like some sites will keep them up, like especially for like the higher ranked guys who aren't playing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at like Bet365.
Mm-hmm. I mean, with this being a 2-week Masters, like I don't feel bad really playing a futures like mid-tour, after the first round or.
Like, I don't either. I think that's why I think like for our viewers out there, I think there's definitely like value. You definitely could wait the first round out. It doesn't really matter. Wait the first day out.
You can. Yeah.
It's more because I'm just curious. Like, I know Alcaraz was -165. Nothing else really caught my eye. Like, well, I'll try to find this. My overall draw talk is that like I want to fade Alcaraz, but I have no idea who to fade him with. Like, who else can win this quarter? Like, who can win this quarter?
Maybe Fritz. That's really the only guy. Like, I don't know. Don't you think like
Fritz was 6-1? I remember that because Fritz was 6-1.
Don't you think these conditions would favor Fritz? Like, I'm not saying necessarily.
Yeah, but I don't know if but you want Fritz at 6-1.
The problem is that Fritz is going to have to play Alcaraz there because, like, who is Alcaraz going to lose to in his 16?
Right. And Fritz is not a guarantee to make it through anything. I mean, he's a guarantee to make it to the first round because he plays Bai, and Bai's a pretty winnable match.
Yeah.
But, like, after that, I'm not so sure.
Yeah, Lechka, like if he plays out,
he can lose to Watnuki. Watnuki's actually a really tough player for top guys because he plays so aggressively. Like, I'm not saying he will, Manny, but, like, Fritz hasn't played in a month. He could lose to Watnuki.
True.
If I get a plus 500 money line on Watnuki, I'll probably take it.
Okay.
And like, if you're only getting 6-1 and you have to play out, if it's only 6-1 for him to win the quarter and he has to play Alcaraz at some point,
it's not good enough. I agree with you. I wouldn't hit that, and I think Lechka is actually a danger match.
I agree.
Like Tiafoe and Yari on fast courts, and then you have Jordan Thompson looming there. Like, that's not an easy draw for Fritz.
No, it's not. And like it's a really weak. It's a weak quarter for a Masters. It's a weak quarter. Like, there's nobody who should. Yeah, I don't. On a quick hard court, I just don't see who challenges Alcaraz here. Lehechka could be kind of scary, but I think he'd still prefer a slower hard court.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
but
don't
I
know.
mean, like it's a danger player, right? Like, especially
Yeah,
if you haven't played in a while, like there are some dangerous floaters here.
kind of.
So like what would your odds need to be for I know they don't offer this, but what would your odds need to be on Fritz to reach the quarters to hit it?
Fritz to reach quarters. It's a fun question.
Like I'd need plus probably 300.
I was gonna say like 250, 200, 250. Like, because like he should beat Wadnuki or Shang. I'm not saying he will. He might not, but he should. You know
He
what? You might be
should.
right. It might be more like 300. It might be more like plus
Like
300.
Lechka
Like,
is dangerous, and then Yari, Thompson, and Tiafa are all dangerous.
yeah, I think he's the favorite against everybody in
I
this.
agree.
But I don't think. Yeah, but I agree. I think they're all scary. I'll give you that.
So yeah, I mean, six to one is definitely not good enough, right? Because then if it's 350 to reach the quarters, he has to beat Alcaraz then after he reaches the quarters. No, thank you.
I agree.
So all right, let's go over the next quarter. So it is Stefanos Tsitsipas. Oh boy. Against Rink, he'll play the winner of Rinky Hijikata and Laszlo Jiri. Then you got Bodie van de Zandschulp against Christopher O'Connell in the first round, who will play the winner of Ugo. The winner of that will play Ugo Humbert. Jan-Lennard Struff will play the winner of Popyrin and Arnaldi. Cam Norrie will play the winner of JJ Wolf and Pedro Cachin. Oh boy. Then you got Tommy Paul, who will play the winner of Varias and Offner. The winner of Kotov and Feast will play Alejandro Davidovich Fokina. Then you got the Astana champion, Adrian Manarino, who will play Shevchenko or Shang. Karatsev or Halis will play the winner of Rublev. So that's your second quarter. This is a quarter with quality, but with guys that are struggling. That's how I view this quarter.
Oh, I don't at all. Humbert's not struggling.
Humbert
Arnaldi's not struggling.
yeah.
Is Fokina struggling? Fokina's like, I think he's just Fokina. Manarino's not struggling.
Okay, so like the top seeds are struggling. So like there are a lot of there's probably a lot of betting value in this quarter.
I think a better way to say it is it's wide open. That's where I was going with it.
So I would probably play Humbert to win this quarter at some price. Like you probably get a good price on that.
Yeah, that's where I've gone, and that's where Sean Calvert's gone, and that's where John Reed at match point 9 have gone. I have 11-1 here.
11-1 to win the quarter.
Yeah, I think it's a good bet here. I mean,
did you already hit that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I missed it, but I'm sure I'll get a similar price once today's matches are done, right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, nothing should change here.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, yeah, I think it's kind of a no-brainer, right? Just based on how he's played.
I mean, like who I mean, it's tough because Humbert could lose to he's got to win 4 matches and he could lose any of them. But like, who should beat him here? I mean, the answer is Paul or Rublev.
Yeah, I think Rublev is the biggest threat, to be honest.
I mean, the answer is Rublev or Paul should probably beat Humbert, but I don't think it's like a given. And I actually think Humbert should be the favorite in any match up until that point.
Yeah, I also think Manarino might be a fade here.
I think Manarino's a clear fade here.
But not in that first match.
Maybe not the first match, but he's a clear fade in terms of outrights.
Yes.
If you scroll up, I mean, the other guy I've gone for here is in that same section is Arnaldi. Arnaldi's 33-1 to win the quarter.
That's a really, really good price.
Yeah.
That's a no-brainer.
I mean, I don't. He could lose to Popperin too. Like it could all go to bunk, but
it's also a good hedge against the Humbert price.
yeah, I mean, I think Arnaldi's the second best guy
because
there.
they could play in the round of 16, and then like the winner of that match plays either Paul, Fokina, or Rublev, and they're all winnable matches.
Yeah.
So I think like I think this quarter presents insane value from a betting perspective. Like that's my takeaway from this quarter.
Well, the top guys in terms of betting were the top guys in terms of betting were the top guys in terms of the betting market for the quarter were obviously the guys you would think, right? Rublev,
Tsitsipas.
Yeah, we're both like 4-1, 5-1.
Tsitsipas is still. I don't think I would bet Tsitsipas even if he was at Humbert's price.
No, I agree.
Which is insane. Like the fact that we're thinking about that, like he's just so overvalued. I probably put Fokina over Tsitsipas in terms of like who could win this quarter.
Yeah, I agree.
This quarter is an amazing betting quarter. Like if we could just like take this quarter and just bet this quarter just as it is from a future standpoint, like I think that's amazing. Like I can't wait to see how this quarter plays out. It's amazing. It's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, Yoshi has break point. Wawrinka broke back. Zapata is 4-all in the second. Exciting times in Shanghai. All right, bottom half of the draw. We got
Casper. How is Kecmanovic doing?
It is 6-5 for Boo. What did you have there?
I ended up I backed out. I backed out. You convinced me not to do it.
Oh man. What, the set one money line?
Yeah, it was only plus 190. It wasn't amazing.
All right, it wasn't amazing. All right. I mean, it's 30-all at 6-5 for Boo. So
yeah.
All right. So we got Casper Ruud against the winner of the match I'm currently watching, Daniel Altmaier and Yoshi Nishioka.
Their man and I both have -3.
-3, yep. It's 4-all, 40-all. 4-all dupes, first set. Duckworth and Hoffman will play the winner, or the winner of that match will play Eubanks. Then we got Talon Griekspoor, who played pathetically in Astana. Will play the winner of Dusan Lajovic and Stan Wawrinka, who are currently in progress right now. Rinderknecht and Marazan will play the winner of the winner of that match will play Demonor. Hubie Hurkacz will play the winner of Kokkinakis and Fonini. Lorenzo Musetti will play the winner of Purcell against Yushu Shu. Thomas Martin Echeverry will play the winner of Zhizhen Zhang and Richard Gasquet, and Holger Rune will play the winner of Nakashima Zapata Miralles. So my takeaway here is very, very weak quarter.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
Very, very, very weak quarter. And if I was looking to place some futures money here, I don't know if you placed this, but Demonor to win.
Yeah, Demonor's the favorite here at 4-1, but I did go with that.
Why, you still hit it?
I mean, Griekspoor looks so bad in Astana. I just can't. And maybe the altitude screwed with him. I don't know, but like, I get it. He's got weapons. He's got like a fun game, but like, he looks so bad in 2 matches in Astana. Like I just can't get that out of my head. And that's the 2 most recent data points are both bad. So I'm not that worried about that match. I mean, I'm slightly worried about it, but I think Demonor should win that. Nobody in that top section scares me at all. Like that top section is incredibly weak. The Ruud section,
right?
Like Eubanks has gone back to the pumpkin,
right?
And I don't think he played. Did he play even since the U.S. Open? I don't think so.
He was an alternate at Laver Cup. That counts.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'm joking. I'm joking.
No, but like he Like I don't think he's played. We haven't seen him in a draw, right?
No, I don't think so.
So I don't think like, which
He's
tells
been
me he's
doing
not
more
that good.
commentating.
Right. And I think that's what he wants to do the rest of the season. Like, I think if he gets out of this tournament early, he can commentate. And like that's great. Like he can fly back to USA and commentate for the rest of the year. Like that's a good gig.
Right.
He probably gets paid pretty well for that too.
Probably.
Um so yeah, Tyone like Rinderknecht. I mean Rinderknecht's always scary because like he does have a big game, but
I think Demonor is a great matchup for or
he is. Yeah, I mean Demore matches up really well with everybody, honestly, in this draw, in this part of the draw. So like, yeah, I mean, Hubie is 10-1 to win this quarter. If Hubie had played more, I would have backed him, but I don't know, man. But I mean, Hubie's always scary, but like,
I mean, the thing that scares me about Hubie is the fact that he could play Kokkinakis in the second round. Like they played like 3 times this year, and it's been 7-6 in the third. Like,
yeah, yep, I
so
agree.
I just don't like backing him in a match in a quarter where in one match he could play a third set breaker.
Yep,
which has happened multiple times this year already. Like, no, thank you.
yeah.
Purcell isn't healthy. Musetti, it's fast hard. That's all you need to say about it. Echeverry did show a little bit promise, but like he played rude. I probably back Zhang against Echeverry, especially if he was a dog. And then Holger Rune's injury with his back and Nakashima or Zapata. I mean, like,
So that's the other place I've gone here, Manny. So I put the 4-1 on Demonor, and I put a 25-1 on Zhang to win the quarter. Tell me who he can't beat. Like, I know it could go to Bunk, but like he should beat Gasquet. I think he should beat Etch. Rune, I don't know. I'm not trusting Rune yet.
no.
Nakashima, we talked about him at the beginning of the pod. Zapata might actually be worse.
Right. It's actually not a bad play. I especially considering he's at home.
Yeah, like at home, 25-1 to win a quarter.
In a very, very weak quarter, too.
Yeah.
Like without Alcaraz, without Medvedev, without Zverev. I actually don't mind the play.
Yeah.
I actually like the play a lot. I probably would tail you on that. I was a little bit late to the quarter party, so like I'm gonna have to wait till end of first round, but I think I'm gonna get similar prices. Like
You will. You will.
so. All right. Then the bottom half of the quarter, the bottom half of the draw here, we got
This is the fourth quarter, right?
fourth quarter, we got Yannick Sinner against the winner of Marcos Giron and Daniel Galan. Dane Sweeney and Taro Daniel. The winner of that match will play Sebastian Baez. Ben Shelton will play the winner Wame Munar and Rigoletto. Safulin and Murray will play tonight, and that winner will play Zverev. That's a tough section. Like FAA will play the winner of Yevisev and Fushevik. Corentin Moutet, the clown, will play Mackie McDonald, and the winner of that match will play Francisco Cerundolo. Korda, who has to fly back to China, unfortunately. He could have stayed, but he decided to go to Kazakhstan. He'll play the winner of Kecmanovic and Bu, and then Kopacevic Garin, the winner of that match, will play Daniil Medvedev. So obviously Sinner is a fade here in some capacity just because like long week in Beijing, food poisoning, like I just can't back him. Like I know he's the second best player in this quarter, like right? You probably agree with me.
Yeah, I'm not backing him.
I don't know. I kind of want to back Shelton in some capacity. Just because like I think these courts really favor well, and like I don't think we can't deny that like he played well at the US Open. Yes, it was a pretty easy draw, but like I don't think you can you can't deny that he didn't play well, right?
So who do you want to back?
Shelton in some capacity, but like he has a really tough draw. Like he's going to beat.
Yeah, I mean, this is. I mean, you got Safiullin in there, Zverev in there. This is a really tough one to bet because
Yeah,
there's a lot of scary guys here.
agreed.
Like not necessarily guys who are good, but
Mhm.
just guys who are scary. So like if you start up at the top, right? Like Sinner is still scary. I can't back him because of the food poisoning, but he's still scary. Um, Shelton is scary. Helmut Munar is scary, but it's more scary bad. Um, Zverev could win the quarter. Like FA's been terrible, but like he does have talent. I mean,
Yeah, and then
quarter's
like
always scary. Like quarter's scary.
I mean,
And
it's
Medvedev's
the
really damn
strongest
good.
quarter by far, right?
Yeah, it's the group of death. That was John Reed's quote, not mine. But yeah, it's tough. It's tough quarter. I mean, I have gone two ways there. I have put two bets down there.
Okay.
I've gone Medvedev at 125. It's not a great price, but like he's just playing like to your point, man. He is playing well.
Yes.
He's only got to win 4 matches.
Minus 125 or plus 125?
Plus 125.
Oh.
And then the other place I've gone is Zverev at 550 plus 550. I'm not as worried about Shelton because I think the Zverev matchup is actually pretty bad for Shelton.
I agree.
Like that's forehand to Zverev's backhand, right?
Like I wish Shelton was in a different quarter because like I would back him in another quarter.
Yeah. Yeah. I do think his price to, and I don't think his price to win the quarter is that exciting. I think it's like between 10 and 15 to 1.
It's not exciting. Yeah. The books are gonna like inflate Shelton's odds just because of like what he's shown recently.
Yeah.
And he's probably not that good, even though like I want to back him in some capacity. Like he's not that good, you know?
Yeah.
So uh but I like the plays. I mean, the fact that Medvedev is plus 125, that's probably good. And then yeah, Zverev. I mean,
If you think Zverev's better than Sinner, then you have to play him at 5.5 to 1, right?
it's a good hedge for Medvedev, right? Like,
yeah, I mean, I think it's really likely. Honestly, it's more like Medvedev's the hedge on Sinner to be or on Zverev, to be honest. Not that I think Medvedev's more likely, but I prefer the Zverev price. I think it's very like, but yeah.
all right. Well, no quarter prices are up as matches are in progress, but
Yeah.
I mean, you'll certainly post your bets on Twitter, on X, and I will
Yep.
when the lines come up. I just haven't had a chance to look at them before the matches started, but yeah, I tend to agree with you. I don't think I like the Demonor that much. Like at 4 to 1, I don't like that much. I think that's too short.
Okay.
In my opinion. So I'm gonna lay off that. But like I like the Zhang pick. And then I love that second quarter, man. That was amazing. Like I love playing Ugo at 11 to 1, and I loved who was the other one you played in that quarter?
Arnaldi at 33 to 1.
Oh, that's freaking amazing. Freaking amazing.
Yeah. So my one outright that I've played here, Alcaraz is like 2 to 1. He's the favorite. I think Medvedev's around 5 to 1, which I still don't love just because Alcaraz is around and like I don't know. There's enough like I don't know, but I'm getting more tempted by Medvedev at 5 to 1. Like I just can't quite get there.
5?
Yeah, I think it's close.
5 to win any hard court tournament. It's not bad without Djokovic in it.
Yeah, I hear you.
And then Alcaraz was just struggling. I might have to sprinkle him.
Okay. Okay. I think like when it comes to outrights, I don't know what you think, but like I just think like Alcaraz in a tournament like kills the betting on a lot of these outrights. Because like
not this version of Alcaraz. If it was Madrid version of Alcaraz, okay.
But he still is a favorite against anybody in this draw. Like who's he not?
Not Medvedev right now.
You think Medvedev is a favorite right now against?
No, I don't think he's a favorite, but I think he has a legitimate chance of beating him. Like I think he's playing better tennis than Alcaraz is at the moment on this kind of court.
I think the matchup is so bad for Medvedev. I mean, I'm not gonna. I won't. You know.
I don't think it's bad. I think Medvedev has found some answers, and I think Alcaraz also needs to be playing well to be doing what he did to Medvedev at Indian Wells and Wimbledon. Like he was playing amazing tennis in both of those matches. That kind of goes under the radar. Like it's not like he was playing 60% and came out with those wins. Like he was playing his absolute peak.
Fine. He destroyed Medvedev in those two matches. Like those were just absolute beatdowns. Like way more than like that US Open match was still very competitive.
So do you think Alcaraz or Medvedev would rather play Alcaraz or Djokovic at this present moment?
Probably close right now. But like only right now, like at any normal time, right? Like I think he's got like probably a 25 to 30% chance against both right now.
Okay.
I mean, we saw Djokovic ripped him apart at the US Open. Not ripped him apart. It was a competitive match, but Djokovic was the better player.
Yeah, I would have loved to see if Medvedev won that second set where that match would turn, right? Like,
I agree with that statement. I don't know. I still don't think like I still don't think you could put Medvedev ever as a favorite against either of those two right now.
I agree. I don't think you could put him as a favorite. I just think I think prior to that US Open match, it goes understated how well Alcaraz played in those two lopsided wins. Like he had a good game plan and he executed to perfection, but in order to execute, he had to play peak Alcaraz tennis, which we argue is better than Djokovic peak Djokovic at this present day moment. Right?
True.
So I think that kind of goes understated. So I think we got to keep that in perspective. And that's why I think 5-1 is a good enough price. I wouldn't hit it at 4-1, but 5-1 I like. So. All right, let's go over the rest of the round one matches for Shanghai.
Okay.
You ready?
Yep.
Oh wow, Bernabe and Nakashima are in the second set breaker.
Did Yoshi? How much did what did Yoshi? What was the score of the first set of Yoshi?
6-4.
All right, we'll take it. Good start.
Really good start. Wawrinka broke back 4-all. Ooh, Kecmanovic stole that first set. 7-6, 7-5 breaker. So it's good that you didn't hit that. An hour and 30-minute first set. Kecmanovic and
ooh. Pure pain.
I thought you didn't hit it.
No, I didn't hit it. I'm saying pure pain like for anybody who did. I'm not saying pure pain for me.
All right, Zapata's up 2-1 in the first set breaker.
That's clutch stuff there.
Yeah. All right. Let's not get sidetracked. Let's go over it. All right. So this is the top half of the first round, rounded 128 in Shanghai. So Alexander Vukic and Roberto Carballes Baena. Vukic is a 3.5 game favorite, minus 230 in the money line. RCB is plus 190. Over-under is 22.5. I know you're going to stay away. I don't even have to ask you, right?
Yeah, I'll tell you my thoughts on this match. I'll sum up my thoughts on this match. Like, buying on a fast hard is you don't want to bet.
No.
And I don't trust laying Vukic for like three. I don't think Vukic returns well enough to lay 3.5 games against anyone on a fast hard. Like, it's like I don't trust Vukic to get 2 breaks. I don't trust Baena to even show up for the match.
Agreed. I mean,
there's a lot of symbols. There's a lot of like red. There's a lot of like, it's inside. Like, why is tennis inside? Like, there's just a lot to figure out. There's no red. It's like, it just doesn't make a lot of sense.
I mean, I'm even staying away here.
Wow. I thought you were going to back Vukic. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm even staying away. I just I'm higher on Vukic than you are, but like as you said, I don't have confidence in him laying games. He doesn't return well enough.
Yeah.
Plus 190 is nowhere near good enough on RCB on a fast hard. Like, it just can go in so many different directions, right?
Yeah.
Next match is Shevchenko and Shang. Shevchenko's 2.5 game favorite, minus 175 on the money line. Shang is plus 145. Over under is 22. You have a player?
Going for Shevchenko.
What, minus
Sang doesn't really play on hard court at all. And he's not even doing that well on clay this year. I don't know, man. Like, Shevchenko is never like a fun guy to bet as a favorite, but
he's
I'll back him
engaged.
here. What?
He's engaged.
Great. Like, it didn't. Yeah, I did that. So like that for me. That was like a stay away factor, right? Like, it was because I didn't know how to quantify the engagement. So I was like, all right, I'm not going to bet on it.
For me, it was a fade, and now you know why I'm not engaged.
You remember the reporter with Nadal years back?
What was that?
Do you remember the reporter with Nadal many years ago with the whole girlfriend thing?
No.
Oh, there's a great. You have to look up like Nadal married, like Google like Nadal married press conference, and like some reporter, like, I don't know, had some dumb question about like, would having a girlfriend but not being married be like a problem for him? Like, is that
he got so pissed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
It's like the only time I've ever seen Nadal really get angry at a press conference, but he got pissed.
Yeah. Well, that's a Bush League question.
Oh, it was a Bush League question, but his answer was almost like pissed Nadal was so funny. Like,
yeah. Man. I don't have enough trust in Shevchenko to lay games here, man. I can't do it.
I hear you. I get it.
Now here, Popperin and Arnaldi. For once, Arnaldi is a favorite. I'm surprised and I'm kind of disappointed, to be honest. -2 on the money line on the game spread, minus 145 on the money line. Popperin is plus 120. Over under is 24. I think that's a high over under. I'd be inclined to hit the under there, to be honest. No?
Yeah, that keeps going up. I'm not playing this. Like, so I think playing Arnaldi here is the right play. But given that I have the 33-1 futures, I don't think this is amazing. Like, I don't think this is way off. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't really see a need to hit, like, I don't really see a need to hit this money line, given that I have 33 to 1, the 33 to 1 futures imply. But if I
Arnaldo
did, I would
2-0
probably
is
go
plus
for
160.
Poprin's not bad. Like, I think it's one of the better matches of the first round.
It is. I agree with that.
I mean, I think you could pick your favorite Pro Arnoldi line. I think that would be the right thing to hit. The only reason, like I said, I'm just not, because I don't think they're amazing. Like, I think it's maybe like 10, 15 cents of value here. And yeah, given that I already have futures, I don't need to like unit up on this. Poprin's a scary guy to bet against because he can play really good tennis at times.
You can. Plus 160 is a good price for 2-0 for Arnaldi. I don't want to lay games here. 2 is too little to take games. I mean, I have a day to think about it, but like I'm thinking of playing that 2-0 because it's just like it's a good price. Plus 160.
Yeah, I hear you.
Anything but plus 150 for like something that you can kind of see happening is like
not bad. I get it.
not bad, yeah. Meanwhile, we lost the play of the day with Nakashima. He pulled out that second set breaker. So sad times.
Sad times.
Karatsev and Halis. These lines are grayed out for some reason.
I was on Karatsev 2-0. Halis has lost his last 5 matches, I think.
What price did you get on that?
Let me look it up. It's in my open bets. 135. It's not a great price, but Halis has lost his last 5. He's lost to, well, really, it's more his last 4. He's played 4 matches since Wimbledon. He's lost all 4. 7-5, 7-5 to Gastão Elias. 4-6, 6-2, 6-4 to Diaz Acosta. 5-7, 6-4, 6-4, 6-4 to Banzai. 6-7, 6-4, 6-3 to Escoffier. Those are 4 losses, 3 outside the top 100, and 1 to Diaz Acosta, who's like on a hard court. He's outside the top 100. He's a clay guy. He's top 100 because he plays a lot of clay challengers in South America.
Don't you feel reluctant to play Karatsev 2-0 with how erratic he is, though?
I always do, but what? Okay, so what do you want to do? Like, what would you rather do?
Just not play this match at all.
I feel like you have to take advantage of how bad Halis has been.
I see, to me, like, I don't want to play this because, like, I agree with you. Halis has been bad, but if Halis finds some kind of form, this is the court that he would want to do that on a fast kind of hard court where his aggressive game is gonna play up.
Yeah,
that's kind of the reason why I don't want to play this. Like if this was on a say a grass court or say like a slow indoor hard court or something like that, I probably stay away. I probably agree with you, but
yeah,
not in this situation. That's just the way I'm thinking about it. All right, next match is Zhukayev against Napolitano. Zhukayev is plus 120 on the money line. It's a 1.5 game dog. Napolitano is minus 145. Do you know much about these guys? Have you seen these guys play?
Not much.
Yeah, I would have to revert to someone else's expertise to handicap this match properly.
Yeah, I would have to. I'm in the same boat.
Yeah. Next match is Bodik van de Zandschulp against Christopher O'Connell. VDZ is even on the money line. O'Connell's minus 120. Over under is 23. I'm all over O'Connell money line here.
That's fine. I don't think it's a. I mean, I think it's. Bonacious showing a little bit of a pulse.
In
Um.
Davis Cup,
Yeah.
nowhere else.
Um. Yeah. I guess. I mean, he did win the first set from Jordan Thompson in the U.S. Open, but that's not much, I guess. He's hardly played, which doesn't help. I don't know. I'm not sure I love what O'Connell's shown me lately either, though. Like, I don't know.
I think he's gonna like these courts though. Didn't Bodic lose to someone?
What lost to Shevchenko last week?
Yeah, that's not good. 4-3 too.
Yeah.
Really bad.
Gun to head, I'm backing O'Connell, but I'm not betting this.
Really, I'm surprised. I thought you would. I thought you were gonna hit O'Connell there. He's just been so bad. BDZ. All right, I'm gonna hit this right now. All right, next match here is Schwartzman and Ben Ash. Very interesting match here. Schwartzman is even on the money line. Van Ash is minus 120. Van Ash is a 1-game favorite. Over under is 22.5. So Van Ash made was it the final of the Orleans Challenger? And he lost to Jack Draper? Oh no, Machok. Draper beat Van Ash 5-3. And then Machok beat Draper in the final. Machok has actually been in sneaky good form. Like if he plays one of these indoor hardcourt events, like he's a guy I'm looking to back.
Yeah. I'm looking something up quickly. I'm gonna stay away, but it's damn close to wanting to take Van Ash. Like it's gun to head, I take Van Ash, but I don't know.
My play is 3 sets at plus 135.
I wouldn't do that.
Why not?
Schwartzman just looks so bad at times this year.
He's looked a little better recently.
Yeah, but we've seen this, right? He's looked better for a match or two, and then he's gone back to being terrible, back to a pumpkin. Van Ash, I don't know. Like he can be
How about Van
basically
Ash
more
over 12 and
steady.
a half? No, because a lot breaks. This is kind of match you hit the over on breaks, right?
Yeah, but how are you gonna actually translate that into a tennis match, right? Like how are you gonna translate that into any of these lines?
It's true.
Right? Like I mean, 3 sets isn't a bad look. I'm not going to do it, but it's not a terrible look. Like this would just terrify me to pit 3 sets with these two guys in the first round of a tournament with how up and down Schwartzman's been, and it being a fast hardcore, which probably isn't good for either of these guys. I don't know. I get your point. They're probably both equally mediocre, but
Yeah, they're equally mediocre. Exactly. What about Van Ash straight sets at plus 185? You like that?
yeah, I mean, if you want to hit something plus money here, I think that's the best play. Which means that I like it way more than I like Schwartzman 2-0. Like, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not quite on it, but I'm not far off of being on it for Van Ash. I like the Van Ash side much more than the Schwartzman side.
I have a day to think about it, but I definitely am leaning. I want to play something plus money there. Just because I think there's a lot of variance, because like there are going to be a lot of breaks, there's going to be a lot of momentum swings. You know what I mean?
Manny, you say that for any match you're going to bet 3 sets on.
Good point.
Your reason for betting 3 sets is always going to be a lot. Like, your reason for betting 3 sets is always it's going to go 3 sets. Like, I mean, that's great. Like, if you really know it's going to go 3 sets, then yeah, we should all take the 3 set line at whatever line it's offered at. Like, even at minus 150, we should take the 3 set line if it's going to go. If we know it's going to go 3 sets.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough. Next match is JJ Wolf against Pedro Cachin. Wolf is a 4-game favorite. Minus 325 on the money line. Over under is 22. Cachin is plus 260 on the money line. I think we're going to be in alignment here, and I want to back Cachin in some capacity. I'm leaning first set money line and plus the 4 games, but like you might have a different play. You might go more aggressively. I have a feeling we're going to agree here, just based on what we discussed on Wolf the other day. No?
No, Kachin's been after the U.S. Open. Kachin went back and played European clay court challengers. So I'm not willing to back in the first round here. Like, I pretty much have a rule that anybody who went back and played European clay court challengers, I'm not backing, because like Kachin's only here because he has to be.
But isn't that, like, to me, it's that's fine, but only if you're not fading the other guy. Like, I'm on a pure Wolf fade right now.
Fading both. That's why I'm not playing it.
Right.
Like in this spot, right? Like I don't want to bet like I just think this is a really tricky event in terms of motivation.
Okay.
And like
It's one of the last Masters 1000s of the year.
Yeah. Which is why, right? Like if guys are getting ready, if guys aren't really like, I don't know. Like I feel like if you're serious about playing this event, right? If you're serious about doing well in this part of the season, you're gonna come and play like some kind of like Chinese fast hardcore warm-up tournament before this event. You're not just gonna like hang out in Europe and play challengers and then come over and play this event if you're serious about doing well in the Asian swing.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
But there's no way I can lay the game. I mean, like gun to head again. I would have to take the 4 games with Kachin because I agree with you from like a tennis perspective. But I think there's a huge unknown on Kachin. But then like I don't want to back Wolf minus 4 games. He's been like awful. I mean, we talked about how he can't beat anybody who's like a half decent player. So yeah.
All right, I have a day to think about it, but I wanted to back Kachin in some way. All right, Terrence Atmane versus Jordan Thompson. Thompson is a 2.5 game favorite, minus 200 on the money line. Atmane is plus 165, and the total is 23. Ugh. I wish it wasn't juiced that much, but I like Thompson over 12.5. probably where I go, but it's just too juiced.
Yeah.
Here?
Uh, you could either go there, I think, or you go the Amane money line. But it's not like my favorite bet, but I might go just go the Amane money line.
I mean, we played this against Yoshi. Like, yes, Atmane has a big game and like he has talent, but
or what about the Amane plus 2.5? It's kind of like betting to win a set, but that's what I'm on Amane to win a set or like minus 150 or something. So it's kind of an alternate way of doing that. I think that could be an interesting play here too. That might be what I end up doing.
not good enough. I think Thompson is too steady.
I wouldn't describe Thompson as steady.
Thompson did have that weird injury, right? Remember that?
Was it an injury? Like what happened there? But that would be another reason to fade him.
I mean, who the hell knows? Yeah, that's
So he
true.
just like quit. He didn't even call the trainer. It was just like, I'm done.
I'm staying away here, man. I can't. I just don't know what to play. I don't have enough confidence in Amane because he's so erratic. Like he has talent, but he just I saw it against Yoshi. Like he would just go for broke on just random balls.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why he's a challenge level player, right? But like on a super fast hardcore, I think I'm going to take the games.
Okay. Okay.
2.5 seems like it's actually like 2.5 seems like weirdly relevant in this event.
Yeah, yeah.
And like I actually think the over 23 is not a bad look here either.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but over 23 is just always so hard to hit. But
I've noticed that laying games is very risky here. I mean, like we're seeing that with Yoshi. Like he won the first set 6-4 and is down 5-2 in the second. Right? Like
is it one break or two?
it's one,
Okay.
but it's not great. Like
Yeah. But what would we have done there if one to back Yoshi? Taking the money line? Like there's wasn't a good option.
yeah. All right, Varias and Offner. Varias is a 3-game underdog. Offner is a 3-game favorite. Varias is plus 180 on the money line, whereas Offner is minus 220, and the over-under is 22.5. I kind of like Offner minus 3.
Oh, I'm the other way on this. I'm on Varias.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know, man. Like, these are both two guys. These are two guys who would rather be on hard courts.
On clay, you mean?
I agree. Or on clay, yeah. Who are trying to learn how to play on faster surfaces.
But
I
I think
agree with you that Offner should be the favorite. Just 3 games seems like I think this is more of a 2-game spread than a 3-game.
Team was a 4-game favorite, and we saw Offner play Team in Astana. Like they weren't really that far off. Offner was actually sizably better, like significantly better, especially later in that match.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
what
I
makes
hear
you
you.
think that? What makes you think that Varias is gonna like, you know, be Offner? I think Varias is actually just bad on hard. Like,
Um,
like he's improving, he's getting better, but he's still like, yeah, he's kind of like where Baez was last year on hard.
I see how Riz is done. He beat Kecmanovic. Um, yeah, I don't know. Like, This is really tough because like I don't think either of these guys are good on hard. Like up until last week, Offner's 2 wins on hard this year were Nuno Borges and Luca Nardi. Like I don't know. I just don't think like, or I guess he also beat Krudic on hard, but like I think this is like a really, really, really tough. I don't like either of these guys particularly. Like I just think these guys are particularly good. So I'll take the games. Is basically my attitude.
Okay.
But I hear you. Like it's not my favorite bet I've ever made.
Yeah, I'm gonna lay the 3. I disagree here. I
All
think
right. So we got a little bill of both sides.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not as excited about Paris. It's more just me like it's one good week out of Offner. I don't know that I'm like really buying into one good week out of Offner.
All right. All right, Kukushkin and Muller. Kukushkin is a 2.5 game dog. Muller is minus 170 on the money line. Kukushkin is plus 140 on the money line. Over under is 22.5. I'm all over Muller minus 2.5 here.
I'm staying away. I don't love this court for Muller. And Kukushkin is not good.
Yeah, but I think Muller is a legit ATP player. Whereas I think Kukushkin, he also choked last week against Nuno Borges. Like, Borges is way under Muller's level. Like, I think this should be 3.5.
I see the argument.
I also like the under 22.5. Like, I think Muller wins it. Actually, what's Muller in straights? Yeah, that's probably where I go. Muller in straights at plus 140. Like, Kukushkin is way below his best.
Yeah.
You don't agree?
I'm staying away. I don't really. When's the last time Muller played? I played Astana. I forgot. Lost to Gerasimov.
Oh, yeah. Not a good loss.
Yeah, I remember him playing Zhuhai. We're losing to Quarta in 3 sets. Yeah, I don't know. I see the appeal.
Is Quarta a sneaky over guy?
Not particularly. I guess. Maybe. I don't know. This last week in Astana he was, but so were a lot of people.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. All right, last couple of matches. Nuno Borges and Gregor Barrere. I really don't want to play this match. Maybe tomorrow's the night I might get some sleep.
I'm gonna rock the Jaguar here, man. It's really a fate on Nuno Borges, but like Barrere should be good indoors.
He should be, but is he good?
He didn't he come up playing all the French indoor challengers? Like he should be good indoors. And I don't think Borges is particularly good indoors. So yeah, I'll back Barrere for those reasons.
I tend to agree with you. I'm on a Nuno Borges fade. I think these are really good.
I don't love it, but like I actually thought this line was gonna be way worse. Like I thought this was gonna be like minus 140 or minus 150. Given that I'm getting it at plus or like close to even money, I think it's okay.
I tend to agree. Pavel Kotov and Arthur Feast. Kotov is a 3 game dog plus 165 on the money line. Over under is 22.5. The over doesn't look like a bad play here.
First round overs just scare the heck out of me, especially at this tournament.
True, yeah. But doesn't Koto prefer clay and like slower courts?
He would, yeah.
Do you have a play here?
No. So I mean, my take is like, if you go, what's the spread again? 3.
Mm-hmm.
It's close. Like it's close to where I would take fees before I would take Kotov here, but it's not quite good enough for me.
It's pretty accurately set, actually. I mean, I got a day to think about this. I mean, tomorrow's a really tough slate, man.
It is.
Tomorrow's a really, really tough card.
Yeah.
Sekulic and Sonigo. Sekulic is a 4.5 game dog plus 425 on the money line, over under 21.5. Sonigo is minus 600 on the money line. I actually like Sekulic here in some capacity.
I mean, the only way I would hit this is to hit Sekulic on the money line, which I'm considering. That nothing else is even remotely appetizing to me.
I think that's a really good price, granted how erratic Sonigo is. Granted,
Yeah, what is Sekulic to win a set?
It's good. That's good. Plus 135.
That might be the play. I might actually do that.
I don't mind that. But I actually prefer the money line at like plus 4.
I think either's fine. I want to see, like, how does Sonego do versus guys who he's like just way better than? Like, how does he do against guys outside the top 100?
Question. He's 6-1 in the last 52 weeks. Time span. Let's see in the career.
Well, Cruz gonna be thrown off because he wasn't, just
Yeah.
gonna have a lot of stuff when he wasn't that good. I would take maybe 23 and like 22 once he cracked like the top 100.
He was 6-6 last year against guys out of the top.
Yeah, but it's a little fooling because like Varias on clay probably is actually top 100. Draper is a little fooling because like he really
Shelton
wasn't.
has top 40 talent, right?
Wolf was just getting his ranking up, right? Like by the summer he was up there. So like
Draper.
a lot of these, Shelton the same thing. Like he just ran into a lot of guys who were like on the way up.
True.
Yeah, I don't know. I think
Sonigo's erratic though. Really?
I know, but you know what? The more I look at this, more I don't like it because like that's fine. He's erratic, but like in order for that bet to like, it's only 4.5 games. Like one break each set could get you there. If you want to play the plus 1.5 sets is only plus 135. Like you still have to hit that 40-something% of the time for that to be a good bet.
Yeah.
It's like 44%, 43%, something like that to hit that. Like it's you have to make that a significant percentage of the time. You can't make that like 1 out of every 3 and then have that be a winning bet.
Right. He did take a set off Musetti in Chengdu.
And then you got Bagel in the third.
Yeah, so maybe money line isn't the right play. But like the thing is, Musetti's different. Musetti makes you hit a lot of balls where Sonego doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's not the same matchup at
Right?
all.
Different, totally different matchup. Have a day to think about it, but like,
Yeah.
what about the 4.5? I mean, it's juiced.
I don't love the 4.5. I'd rather take the set or the because like Sonego's so erratic, right? Like if he's playing badly, he'll probably give up a set. What was the score of Yoshi and Altmaier?
6-3.
Man, boo! 5-2, 2 breaks in the second.
Yeah. It's
Should have
pain.
gone with the gut. Should have gone with the gut. I let Manny talk me out of the bet.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. Yeah, so we need what, Yoshi 6-2? Okay.
Yeah. To push, right? Because it was 6-3 that set. So we need 6-2 for a push.
That sucks. That's a loss.
Yeah.
All right,
Not a good day for the GBM plays of the day.
well, we still got Safulin.
Okay, we can have a 2-unit losing day instead of a 6-unit losing day.
Yeah. All right. Rinky against Yuri.
Jiri retired with a neck injury at against Hamad in Astana. I'm not betting this because of that. Like I think this line is pretty close to fair. I would maybe want to back Jerry, like, but it's not. It's pretty close to be honest. But like, if I don't I don't want to. I don't know. I don't know enough about Jerry's injury. I have no idea how bad that neck injury is.
Yeah. It's a shame because I actually want to fade Rinky post US Open.
Yeah, me too. But I don't think it's a great spot to do it.
You're probably right. All right, and the last match is Watnuki against Shang. You want to talk?
I hate the markets. They're too damn good. Like I was so excited. I thought I was going to get to back Watnuki here, but the markets have read this perfectly.
I'm on Shang plus 120.
Oh, this looks so unphysical. Every match he runs out of gas.
Yeah, but Watnuki's not a physical player. He's not Yoshi.
No, but he's gonna have to run down a lot of balls, Shang will. Shang's look gassed every single match. I can't bet this. He like McDonald to carry him off the freaking court.
That is true. That is true.
Actually, the W. What is the LWW? That's not a bet here, right? But like, if they had it, the LWW would be really interesting. Yeah, they don't have it. But the LWW would be the bet here.
Want to do Watnuki 2-1 at plus 320, 310?
No, because if Shang's just tired and he just loses in 2 sets, then you lose.
Yeah, but Watnuki doesn't play a physical brand of tennis. Like he's either gonna, I don't think he's smart enough to like know that Shang gasses out. He's just gonna play his game.
Mm-hmm.
Like Watnuki plays similar to Shelton, and Shang beat Shelton twice in the summer.
Shang was playing a lot better than too. Shang's gassed out now, can't beat anybody. Can he? What has Shang done lately?
Yeah, I guess his last like decent run was Atlanta, right? I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
He hasn't been that good recently. Yeah. I see your point. I don't know. I'm not that high on Watnuki.
So I've been a lot higher than you on Watnuki all season. Watnuki just beat Shang less than a month ago, 4-2.
Okay.
I'd be a lot less worried about it if Shang didn't lose his last 3 matches. And his last. I mean, yeah. I mean, you can look at Shang's results since Washington. They're not good.
Yeah. And the home crowd. I mean, the home crowd doesn't really seem to matter for him, right?
His energy level, right? Like once he runs out of gas, he's just out of gas.
Yeah. All right. So our plays for tomorrow. I'm gonna be on Arnaldi 2-0, 2-0 at plus money. I'm gonna be on O'Connell money line at -120 against VDZ.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna play Van Ash money line against Schwartzman.
Okay.
20. I'm gonna play Kachin plus the 4 games against Wolf.
Okay.
I'm gonna play Offner minus the 3 against Varias. Moeller minus the 2.5 against Kukushkin. I'm probably gonna do Sekulic to win a set against Sonego. And I'm gonna do Shang money line against Watnuki.
All right. So I'm going. I've got we got a two-sider here. I've got the Varias -3 or Varias plus the 3. I might end up tailing on the Sekulic to win a set.
Yeah.
I'm not sure yet. It's kind of close. I've got the Barrera money. Do you have the Barrera money line? Or not?
Gotta think about that one.
All right, because if you do, then that could be a potential play of the day on the Jaguar.
I can't do a play of the day on it, even if I hit it. No.
Okay.
I can't back on his form.
I've got Amane plus the 2.5.
Okay.
And that's it, I think. Yeah.
Ben Ash, you're close on that? You're thinking about it?
Close, but not quite. I can't quite hit it.
I think it's a really, really tough card tomorrow. Like I
think today's card is a lot better. I like a lot of the matches on today's card.
Yeah.
I mean, we're already over too, so who knows? But
yeah. All right, so that does it. It's a Masters 1000, so we'll probably be back at some point, like on the weekend, right? To do.
Yeah, I would think. Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. Very good. All right. So this was a mega pod. This was a lot of fun. And
a lot of fun. It was like 3 hours is insane. But yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. All right, guys. Have a good night.
Bye, guys. Thanks. See ya.